Eagle Gardens 1 on Instagram, and this is fucking talking shit with Eagle 397, the wormhole. Thought I'd pop on, get things going at least. Come smoke one. Minimal. What's up? He'll just nice. People, cheers. Dedicated wine, sustainable. Yoda Rose, cheers, my friend. Yoda, I was in there the other day. Where were you, Yoda? Where were you? Thank you for hooking me up. Appreciate that. Light up again, Tim. How you doing, my friend? I never said I wasn't going live tonight, that's for sure. See if the internet holds out. Still no satellite, dude. I know, Yoda. I was in the other day. Some other dude was working. Volume is messed up. What's up, Smiley?
What's going on, man? Fucking Friday, just working. You too?
Back up to old tricks, Smiley. I'm back up to the old tricks. At least I can at least not so worry about one of them. But because the satellite guy hasn't been here, I was ready. I don't know as you were coming in or whatever, but I lost the computer. It went down. It was ready to take me down, but I was ready, Smiley. I had the phone all backed up, already logged into the Zoom. All I had to do was see cameras and look down. What's up, Smiley?
That's awesome. Love it when a plan comes together, huh?
Yeah. So how was your day, man?
It was good, dude. It was good. Moving some shit around, getting some potatoes planted for the garden. So probably a little behind on that.
Oh no, isn't it right around May? By May, you're supposed to have that shit in.
Well, I mean, to my knowledge, most of the tender plants in our area are like June, and then some of the hardy ones, yeah, May. Potatoes and radishes and lettuce, shit like that. You can throw out there.
All the freeze warnings we've had, at least up here, man, I'd be afraid to put anything outside right now.
Yeah, you're definitely better off being patient with a lot of the stuff, but I don't know. I mean, like some of the stuff's direct sow. So like radishes, you know what I mean? I planted the radishes seeds. They're not even up yet. You know what I mean? They're not even carrots and all that. Yeah.
Those are nitrogen producers, and put back into the soil. They're one of those that have, because they have such a deep root, drive that nitrogen deep into the soil. Listen to the little organics; it's starting to rub off. But yeah, that's one of those quick flips, man. I was listening to that the other day. I'm like, I wonder if I could put those in my cannabis plants, because that's another thing I've been like fucking, as I listen to a little bit more about the soil and stuff, man, I'm starting to come around with the cover crop idea. I've never really implemented it, but the more I listen to some stuff about the soil every day, uh, I'm seeing how important it really can be, and for just multiple reasons. I mean, multiple reasons. It's not just for a quick nitrogen fix. I mean, it's loosening up the soil, it's providing aeration. There's a lot of pluses to cover crops.
Well, the diversity in biology will increase. That's proven too, where the number of species of roots. I think it's at least 4 different plant species. They see a large like synergistic thing going on with them too, to where the amount of microbiology in the soil increases exponentially. It's not just 4 times. Like if you have one plant and you got 100 species of bacteria, then you should have 4 plants with 400 species. But it's like when you have 4 different species, it's like having 40,000 or whatever. Like the diversity is exponential, So, yeah, there's a lot of argument too, man. There's a lot of thought behind it, and I don't know. I'm with you on it. I started out all gung ho with the cover crops. I mean, that was a big topic and whatever, and I ran into some of the issues that guys talk about with it. You know what I mean? You can get bugs and pests, and
With
you're having to
nitrogen,
fight them around different shit or whatever. So there's definitely some negatives to try or extra work or however you want to perceive it as a negative, but
but
definitely extras to it. But
is
it's
that a plus or a minus though, Smiley? I mean, come on. Wherever there's a ton of nitrogen, you it's gonna draw aphids. If aphids are in your room and there's a plant that's just fucking loaded with nitrogen, or there's a ton of nitrogen source, they're gonna be drawn right to that. So, if they're in the room, would you rather try to fight them off in your cover crop, or would you try to fight them off on your plant?
That's true too. Yeah, they're indicator plants too, so you can see signs of bugs early on your cover crop versus wait until they're on the cannabis. Yeah, man. There's definitely it's definitely takes some work, and I definitely think to make it really usable, I think a bed style would be ideal to where you have some extra soil space or media space. Um, like I'm in number 15 pots, and it gets a little tight to try to run something in that. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's definitely benefits though. So photosynthesis is where everything starts. So the more things you have that are photosynthesizing and connecting that to the soil is going to be better.
So, do you think that because the way I run things with timing, uh, the way I time things out, do you think that I could get away with my tens? You know what I mean? In a more organic system, because usually them tens come out like a week before flip. You know what I mean? If things are running right, you know what I mean, just pushing along. It's transplant 1 week in that pot, flip. You know what I mean? And so is that, just a flowering time? Is that enough for my organic spot at the time?
Yeah, I mean the pot should be fine, but like your cover crop, you may have trouble trying to establish and keep a cover crop going through it. But I've been throwing seeds down on mine. I'm not even really with the idea of having a thick lush cover crop, but just having the idea of seeds in there. You know what I mean? Shit's gonna pop, and I can whatever. It's still doing its thing once a taproot comes out. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not an expert on it. I definitely know there's a lot of pluses to it, though, for sure. Beyond nitrogen fixation, you're right, or beyond green manure and like chop and drop type stuff. So, what's up, Johnny?
You
How's it
find
going, man?
I mean, aren't you like, yeah, you're in like more of a straw or thinking about mulch these days, aren't you, versus cover crop? Could I be wrong in saying that?
Yeah, I was doing straw a lot. Sorry, that got me, man. But I was doing straw, and then now I've been doing the vermi mulch from Wormies, the worm company by me or whatever, Wormies GR.
Now, vermimulch. Explain that. Is that just worm compost? Is that what that is? Vermimulch. What is vermimulch?
So,
What's the difference between that and compost?
well, it's a more advanced stage of it. So, like, I'll just explain the process of what Wormies does. They put out a really cool little informational video, but basically their premise, they collect food waste. So they work with restaurants, schools, whatever, you know, I mean, public whatever, it doesn't matter. Homes can do the service with them, but basically people collect food scraps where they drive around and collect the buckets of food scraps. They take all those to their farm and they compost them in a what I kind of understood as a Johnson Sioux style, but they basically put them all in a bin. They compost them with air. It's an aerated compost, so they pump air through it. It speeds up the process. Then they take that compost and they mix it with arborist chips or wood chips from the guys cutting trees down and stuff, and they mix that in a certain ratio because I mean it's their composting style, and then they put that into windrows that the worms actually work on. So at the end of that, what they have is they have a very fungal worm casting or vermicompost. It's not actually a worm casting at the end; it's a vermicompost. And then so what they'll do is they'll take that windrow and they have their sifter, which has a different screen size on it, and that's how they screen their vermicompost off to the side, and it's like a certain particle size is
That's how they classify the certain size that they want to sell, and the rest of it gets put back into it and redone.
Right, and then so the vermicompost will sort out all the worm eggs, all the worms, all that stuff will be sorted out of it. But then the vermi mulch, what they'll do is they'll take after the end of that sifting process, they would normally go back into the composting or the worm windrow. Well, now they're doing a second sifting process, and it's probably 2 to 3 times the size particle. And so there's probably the biggest is like the bottom of a lighter. That's like the biggest size chip, and then all the way down to smaller.
So like half inch to 3/4 inch, pretty much.
And a lot of it's like little wood chips and stuff like that, but it's all coated with the worm casting, you know, because it was tumbling around in their sifter, and then they did a second. But in the second sift, I get a lot of worm eggs in the vermi mulch. I get a ton of worm sacks, and I get a occasional hand. You know, I mean, there'll be probably a half dozen worms in there, or a dozen worms in there too. So I'm inoculating the pots while I mulch is basically the thought I had behind it. So I'm bringing worms in, and I'm bringing, you know what I mean, wood material and fungal and all that. So
I really like that. I like what he's got lined up for people to sort, separate, and contain it for him, and then he just comes along to pick it up. That's kind of my theory of what I was planning on doing here in Vegas, as far as the thinking of my worms.
Yeah, it's cool.
And it's up. I'm actually. Yeah, what's up, Prophet?
Sorry, man. I just want to bring him in. I was rambling.
Yeah. No. But what I was thinking about doing is the same aspect where I'd be getting a hold of schools and around here to do a lot of cooking and stuff. Once he gets up and going again, we'll have plenty of that kind of stuff, you know. Yeah. So I was thinking about doing that kind of networking and touching base with people. And I worked for a nonprofit company before I got hurt. I was even thinking about doing some sort of a nonprofit kind of a thing where I would be, you know, putting a lot of the money towards like veterans or something like that, you know. So it'd be a beneficial kind of a thing. So that's kind of what I was thinking. I got some mushrooms here that Microgrown gave me.
Yeah.
The hell did I do with them? Yeah, he stopped by the other night, and we swapped some genetics, some seeds, and then he
Allegedly.
gave me yeah. And then yeah, and then so it was cool because now he's going to be able to grow my puckerberry knockout because he was really excited about that last time, so I gave him some of those seeds
Yeah,
so he
that's
could
cool.
take care of it.
I dig it.
So yeah, and then he gave me some mushrooms. I don't know what the hell I did with them. I put them someplace. I hid them from myself. I hate it when I do shit like that. That doesn't ever happen to anybody, right?
Yeah.
Right? Come on, man. Back me up on that one.
Oh, yeah. I've hid
I
things
just
and
had
went.
him in my hand about an hour.
Imagine
Yeah.
hiding a ball of hash, and it's all you had, right? It's all anybody had, about the size of I don't know, about that big around. This is 20 some years ago, and I got up in the morning and could not remember where I put it. And I looked through the whole house and knew it wasn't anybody else's bedroom that I didn't go in. So it was in any part of the rest of the house. So it was like, and I couldn't find it. And I
Wow.
couldn't find it. And then finally, my friend, I said to him, I was like, dude, I got this ball of hash last night. And I was just so out of there, man. I hit it and I went to bed. Now I cannot remember where I put it. And we looked and looked and looked and couldn't find it. I said, if we find it, if you help me find it, I'll split it with you. You know, because I was just like, at that
A
point,
little more motivation.
it was almost to the end of the day. It'd been all day long and I hadn't smoked anything. And I was just desperate, you know, and it's like, so I did. So, but then all of a sudden I opened the cupboard again and I went, oh, that's where it is. And I grabbed the freaking coffee and put my hand down to the coffee and pulled it up. Right there it was. You know, it's just I was so baked when I did it. There was no, yeah.
What was going through your mind at that moment, you know, when you put it down in the coffee?
He saw Beverly Hills Cop where they shipped all the drugs in the coffee grounds.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
I won't tell the whole story, but I was not too proud of myself from the night before. I will leave it at that.
Hey, Rez, you can't feel bad because my haze, the haze and the Cindy 99 back a little while back. You remember when I had those two grown together in my veg area? That was my flower. At that time, after I'd got done processing it and everything, and well, I separated a half ounce of either one of those, and I separated them so that I could show somebody what the difference was in the weight of them, you know. And I have no idea what I did with the haze. I just found the Cindy 99 right here down in the bottom of this drawer in the very back on the bottom. But I have yet to find the haze. So there's a half ounce rolling around my house someplace. It'll be tinderbox dry by the time I find it, you know, but you know, is what it is.
Hey, it happens. You know, as long as it wasn't nothing that was violent, that hurt anybody, and you forgot about it, then that's okay. That's the way
Exactly. It ain't gonna do anything to anybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
unarmed.
You get up the next day and you don't have anything to smoke, and then you're like, oh shit, why did I hide that? Okay.
Yeah, that didn't even come into play.
You don't know where you put it?
I have no idea where it's at. It could be anywhere inside this house.
As long as it didn't fall in the trash. I like that plant that's waving in the wind behind you. That's a lot of damn wind on that big plant.
This one right here?
It's a little plant.
It's a nice structure.
It looks big in the bag.
Yeah, it looks bigger like that. Yeah. This one here is a little thicker.
Mine are not standing that well.
Yeah, that's this one here is a bike seat by Miranda Family Farm.
Yeah. Was it an auto? You said an auto?
When he mixed up. No, that's not an auto. I put him in a little early.
Yeah.
Just because I'm looking right now.
Yeah.
You know, so I put them in early so I can have more coming through, so I can see what they look like as they come through flower. And then when I find the good ones, like this one here, this is definitely one that I'm going to keep and start producing on this one here. This is my Cocoa Berry Jones.
I like that.
And that's by
Jones,
Bud White.
huh?
Yeah.
I need to grow some.
Bud White.
Are you taking clones of all those? Johnny, you are? Okay. I didn't know if you were re-vetching or taking clones.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can, I don't know if it gives you a good picture or not.
How many different ones you got going right now? That looks nice.
Oh, too many.
Never too many. That's like too much fun.
Yeah, right. Except when you can't walk
too many, you know. Well, I've got one of my toilets shut down right now. It's not doing that kind of toilet stuff.
Oh,
it is now my water room and my.
We'd have been in my last
room.
house, and I was a grower. You guys would have been like, I'd have been crazy. I'm probably luckily.
This one here is really nice and frosty, and it's got a. It's got a bit of a cocoa kind of a flavor or smell to it.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, man. I'm whipping you guys all over the place there. Did anybody get sick on that ride?
I get dizzy quick with that shit though.
Do you? Yeah, I know I do too, man. When I'm watching somebody walking around with their iPhone or something, and it's doing that shit, it really whacks me out. I have to sit down, close my eyes. Yeah, it doesn't do me well.
Sucks getting old.
Yeah, so yesterday I had a few errands I had to run. I went to the DMV and had a doctor's appointment. Got the DMV done early in the morning, hit the doctor's appointment, stopped on the way home at one other place, and then on the way home, my car wasn't responded. The engine wasn't responded to their transmission. There was some kind of miscommunication going on there. So when I went across the major road, it did not go like it normally did. It just kind of went across, and I said, "What the hell?"
That sucks.
Yeah. So I got down to the stop sign and I threw it into low gear and it kind of clunked into it, and I said, "Ooh, that didn't feel good," you know. So I get home and I got it right to the house. You know, there was no problem getting it home. So I called up a friend of mine and I asked him. I said, "Hey, man, remember I was talking about getting some transmission fluid the other day?" And he goes, "Yeah." I said, "I think I need to get that." So I actually had to go to the dealership to get it. It's specially for my transmission.
Yep.
I think that's capital bullshit, you know.
They've been doing that though. Like I said, dude, they're parts companies. They're parts companies. So why wouldn't they want to sell something you have to get from them?
Exactly. You know, and it's funny, I had to pay what was it, $16 for that damn thing.
Per quart, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And it was called K, so I called it Special K brand, you know, because it was so special it had to be extra priced and kept at the dealership.
Yep.
I used to haul
That's
a
the
bunch.
special shit right there. That's the special shit right there. That's some special K. You know?
It's the way though, man. They don't want you to be able to fix shit. They want you to buy a new one and throw away what you had, you know? And I mean, it's like, I'm guilty of it too, dude. I'm so guilty of it. I fucking buy the new one and throw that one away. And like, but it's, at
Yeah,
some point it's kind of like,
I was a half. So just so everybody knows, I was a half quart low, and my car was it was not functioning.
That
The
don't,
transmission
that ain't right.
wouldn't work.
I had to be more than
That
just
ain't
half
shit.
quart.
No, it was only a half quart low.
Well,
That was
something
it.
else going on.
No, I swear to God, man.
Really?
It
But I
was
mean, I'm
like,
saying that what I'm saying is maybe the sensor's set wrong or something. There's something wrong.
yeah. Well, no, I think maybe the sensor says once it gets to this point, I'm gonna fuck with him. You
Well,
know,
maybe
until it
maybe
does
that's maybe that transmission is just built with such a tolerance. It needs not to drop any lower than that,
well,
so you're better off.
that's
That's
what I was
getting all the
thinking.
torque out of the motor you're supposed to get. You know what I'm saying? I've blown a motor up before.
Right.
It can be done.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I hadn't checked that oil since I started driving it and the transmission, which is kind of stupid, you know. But that's just,
Maybe that
you
was
know,
gas.
I'd had the
So they're hard to check though, Johnny. Like they don't want you to check that shit.
Well, yeah, it was in a real hard spot to find too. You know, it was down low and it was a little,
Well,
just a little tiny black knob.
It's quote unquote a lifetime fluid. So the lifetime.
Well, yeah.
You think that by the wording of lifetime, that implies something, but it doesn't. To them, lifetime is 90,000 miles.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I hadn't even got the 90,000 miles yet. I haven't even got the 60,000.
No. All right. But I'm just saying, like, there's like deceiving shit about that, right? Like, lifetime.
Well, I just think the heat out here is just so hot that it used it up, you know.
It
I don't
wears
know
shit
how
out.
it could.
In the desert wears shit out fast. That's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
The heat. Yeah.
That was
Really
that
fast.
was kind of my thoughts there. Yeah.
When you put your laser on a window on a sunny day on 91 and it's hitting the window and you put your laser on it, it's like 146 degrees.
Yeah, it's super hot. You don't want to rest your arm against your window. No.
It was 80 some out not the other week, and I hit my arm against a shovel one, you know, a little digging shovel. It's a chrome one, and I put my back of my hand on it. It left a mark. It fried my skin.
I seen a public service announcement about that, like walking your dogs on pavement and shit like that, where the pavement will get so hot it'll be burning their paws the whole time, you know. Which you know, I mean, it's common sense, I guess. Yeah, it's hot out, but you don't realize it when it's 80 degrees that the pavement's 110 or whatever if it's sunny. You know what I mean? Like,
well, imagine what it's like out here.
Yeah.
110. You know, it's like I wonder how much. You know,
I bet
130 on that, 140 on that.
Asphalt will melt on certain days, won't it, for you guys?
Oh heck yeah! It gets.
I just had one of those coolers. I guess it was a shipping cooler. It was like a tractor for shipping a crate of refrigerated stuff. So it's about this thick, silver for a pallet. And I had that. They gave me that at the grocery store. What do you think they were using that for? I bet it had another compartment underneath. Anyway, and I thought about that the other day. I figured I'd say something. I'm in California. I don't care. Not mine. Anyway, it was on the ground outside in my garden, and I had a brown tarp over top of it. And I said, "Oh, I need to go ahead and get this up." And I went to pull it up, and I smelled it. It had it had melt a hole this big through 4 layers of that tarp with the silver underneath, not even being seen by the sun.
Oh, it was that hot that it melted it?
It's just, it's the desert intensity. It's at 3,000 feet and 85 degrees. It's just, we're already going over 90, but we're dropping back down to 70s during the day. We're going back to 70.
You're in Arizona, right?
What's that?
Yeah, you broke up, Johnny.
You're in Arizona? Are you in Arizona?
No, I'm in high desert California.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
High Desert,
3,000,
California.
right at about 3,000 elevation.
Okay.
It's a tough place. I mean, to grow and to, right now it's I had to figure out the dry. That's why I bought
Well,
two of those
I'm
herbs out.
contemplating my AC. I'm contemplating what I'm going to do with my AC at this moment. How I'm going to make it work. Because last year, man, it was freaking brutal during the summertime.
Your pump didn't do it. Your cooler didn't do it.
Well, yeah, I got it. Well, no, the AC.
Swamp cooler.
Yeah, I got an AC cooler, a window one. Yeah. Oh, the swamp cooler last year I didn't have, so I have that this year, so I will be able to use it during the portions when it's not the monsoon time. When it's monsoon time, I have to use nothing but the air conditioner.
Monsoon time.
That's when it gets moist and sticky in the air, and there might be a couple of raindrops that come down, but it's just humidity that comes in.
Do you want some rain in the desert?
Oh yeah, it's good to have rain in the desert. A little bit, get those desert toads out from underneath those rocks,
It does
it's one of those. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it does add an interesting hurdle to growing indoors, though, is the outside weather. Like you guys are talking extreme heat. We go from 90, sometimes hit 100, I guess, for a few days, but mainly in the 80s and 90s for Michigan, humid, down to like 20 degrees, 10 degrees, and cold.
But you guys,
so yeah.
don't you guys always? You always have humidity. I mean, it's almost a constant. Is it with the lakes and stuff like that around?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely not. We get our dry time or dry days for sure, but it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you always got that.
More humid as far as nation concerned.
It was 86 today with I think 10 or 12% humidity outside.
Yeah, that's nothing. No, we were probably around 40, 50, I would guess, %.
But it's perfect tonight. I can open. I got it shut right now. I think I don't think I have it open, but I can open my front door, and I got another window open, and they both suck right into the tent, and it sucks it back through the camper, and it's a mixture. So I'm getting like fresh air at night under LED,
Nice.
Pure fresh air. So in my I'm at 79. I think I have the AC on. 79 and 55% humidity.
See, and pulling in fresh air is fine until the temperature outside is 10 degrees or 0, you know what I mean? Negative degrees or whatever. Then it's a whole different ballgame.
You need more lights then.
Juggling. It's definitely a matter of juggling the time of year. Like I'm prepping already, trying to figure out summer too, like make sure all the ACs are ready to rock, and I'm actually replacing them just to maintenance replace. I don't know.
I need one. I need.
Well, when it gets super hot outside, that swamp cooler the water gets hot, and when your water's hot, it's blowing hot air through the hot water, and it really doesn't cool it that well. You know what I'm saying? So, because it's got a vat down at the base of it where it has the water, but it just doesn't stay cool enough. So I'm actually thinking about trying to get a chiller and have the water come into a chiller and then go into it. So it's.
Can't you run it off? Oh, you probably can't off a garden hose. Don't they do that off a garden hose where it's cold water going to it?
Well, yeah, but you don't understand, man. It's only a trough that's only about, I'd say about 2.5 feet wide by about 6 to 8 inches deep, and it might be about 6 to 8 inches wide. That little trough on the bottom. So I mean, it's just a little tiny trough, and it's plastic. So the heat will just penetrate. It
But
almost
you get moisture.
will boil that
Well,
water.
but the temperature, I guess the cooling effect of it is from the actual evaporation of the water. So
Yeah,
the
the colder
water
water,
evaporating
colder water comes.
is what's taking the heat. You know what I mean? So,
Yes. Yeah, the
so the
evaporation of the water is
temperature
what's
isn't going to
cooling the
matter
air.
as much.
Well, see, it's the reason that
Oh,
that, like the moisture.
well, it does.
The moisture is the reason I mean, even if I killed them all, I want to keep my bathroom always full. In the summertime, the wintertime, I don't want to next year, but I want to keep my bathroom full of veg. You know, as much as I can of big leaf veg going in there to get that moisture in the house naturally. You know,
Oh,
and keep it. You know, in the desert, in the wintertime,
so
do
it's
it less. You know, and then even if right now I'm in like my best time, winter went really long this year. I mean, it went a lot longer than normal for our cold temperatures. I mean, we're almost what's today?
how cold do you get up there?
What's that?
How cold do you get?
In the wintertime?
Yeah.
It can get down to see the coldest I've seen, I think was almost 19 one night, 20. Yeah, it had a consistency where my water line wanted to freeze. Luckily, I have a
Well, that's chilly.
yeah. So, but I
You
mean
got
that's not
insulator wraps
normal.
on that?
The normal's mid to high 20s, mid 30s. Very little rain, spurts of rain through the winter. Then summertime,
What's your yearly average out there? We don't even go across an inch.
oh, I don't know. I have no idea. We can get 3 inches in a day, but then you might not see rain for 3 months.
Right.
You don't
But you
you
might
don't get more
it
than
might rain for 2 weeks. My brother
Yeah,
came
I
out
know.
here. It rained
Is
for like 2 weeks straight, never stopped. 2 years ago, 2 years ago,
that's kind of
never
hard to
stopped.
fathom, right?
yeah, it is.
Less than an inch. Yeah. I live in a
Yeah.
desert.
Oh no, it right from that. Typically from right now, and coming into in May, from what I remember, from now it shouldn't rain, but maybe one or two little spurts, maybe three, because where I sit outside of town and below the mountains, might get 4 or 5. You know, if that's things change. Just little stuff from now till October, November.
So do you ever
Yeah.
get any a little bit of snow like in the wintertime with a
Snow,
little flurry?
sleet, rain, all in the same day.
Okay.
And it hadn't rained for like 10 years before I got here. Since they've gotten here, they've got some of the biggest snow that they've had. You know, you go out and you think it's like it's supposed to rain, and it might be raining 2 miles down the road, but it might be another 200 feet down, and it might be in a swell that gets heat coming up out of the valley from Los Angeles. Who knows? And this is coming down off the mountain, and Big Bear Mountain's behind me up here. So there's still on
Oh,
snow
nice.
on the mountain up here right now. There's still snow on the mountain over on the other side of the highway on that range. So San Bernardino still got a little bit of that snow left. Typically does up until July, unless there's been the
I
last.
got an idea where you're at now. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm in
That's
the
beautiful
desert.
area up in that. Yeah, it's beautiful up there though. It is.
It's just hot though. I mean,
Yeah.
it's when the wind gets
You're
going, oh, you can forget it, man. Like today when the wind starts whipping, you know, it's blowing 35, hitting 45. You just you don't want to go outside. You can't open a window. You don't want to open a window because everything gets covered with dust. I mean, just automatically.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's
crack up.
horrible out here.
Leave
When
more
the
than
winds start
one
kicking.
window up. Leave more than one window open on a vehicle, on your vehicle that day, in the front and the back, and you forget it. It's not bad, but you're gonna have a coating of dust through your whole vehicle. You know,
Exactly. Yeah.
you got to keep everything buttoned up. You know, that's why I was thinking about. I wonder if the Tesla. I didn't know. I didn't look it up. Not that I can afford a Tesla. I can't. But I would like to have one just for the simple reason is, can you let it run and the AC's running and you don't hear it run? And leave it in the parking lot and nobody would think about stealing it, you know, because it's running. Because they can't hear it. I wonder if the air conditioner is that quiet as well.
Well, I'm sure it would. Well, I don't know.
Probably.
I guess it wouldn't have to cool off the radiator. So, yeah,
That's true. Oh, I didn't even think about it. That's not cooling off the damn motor.
yeah, it wouldn't have the radiator fan go, you know. So
There he is.
Yeah, I'm about to go. I'm next Tesla I see, and they're in the store. I'm gonna walk up to the windows, put my hands on the window in the summertime, see if it's cold.
Cheers, Jack.
well, you can
How
ask.
you doing,
You can
bro?
ask Jack.
Like, what are you doing, man?
Cheers. How's
Yeah,
it going,
we
Riz?
can
How's it
ask
going,
Jack
Smiley?
right now about that.
Jack, do you have a Tesla?
Yes, I do.
Does the AC run and you can't hear it?
You can
Sitting
hear
in the
it.
parking lot? Okay.
I mean, it's an AC.
No,
I mean,
from outside.
from outside. I mean, if it's running on 11, you'll probably hear it if you're standing right next to the car. But on lower settings, no, you're not going to hear it. But like when I'm parked, like if you're trying to keep it, like if it's 100 degrees and you set the app to like keep your car at 78 or 73, it'll run to keep it at that whatever temperature. You can also do like dog mode. So it'll pull up a thing on this big ass screen that says, my owner's in the store. The car is kept in dog mode, 73 degrees or whatever. Don't worry. And there's a little dog running around on the screen, like all animated.
That's cool.
That's cool, man. Oh man, that's a real plus, man. To have a car that's sitting there, you know, not burning fuel, not getting extra heat into the environment. You know, it's
and
still cool.
it has camping mode. So like when I went to visit Aaron the grower, I just parked next to his spot, and we have a air mattress that blows up in the back. We threw a little topper on, had a bunch of blankets, me and my wife, and we just camped. And it keeps just the it has like a little campfire that plays on the screen, but it just runs only the vital stuff for like heat or air conditioning, and it keeps the like everything else on low battery setting, so you don't burn through a bunch of battery.
So it has visual ambiance as well.
Pretty much, yeah. Sets the mood for you. There's a romance mode. You can turn when you go to romance mode and you tap the fire, it'll start playing like Barry White.
Yeah, no, it won't. Does it?
Yep. I pulled that when me and Aaron the
Elon,
grower,
man, he thought of everything.
Coltrane.
we were doing dabs, and I pull up romance mode. He's like, "Oh shit, Jack!" Tried to slip his hand up my leg. I didn't. But I walked back in. I was like, "Oh god." His wife and
That's
Lady
too
G
funny,
were looking
man.
at us.
Too funny.
It was a good time. There's a whoopee cushion mode, so you can like make it so when somebody sits down in the seat, or like when you hit the turn signal, it like plays a loud fart through the speaker.
No, it
in a
doesn't.
specific chair. Yep.
Oh my god, it's like a big toy.
It's like a damn kit car. We always
It's
There's
like
a
a
toy-
big,
that's the toy box.
yeah. It's a big toy, man.
It's a kit
You get all
car.
sorts of new updates too. So whatever they drop some new shit, it comes over the air like your phone updates.
Does it have a Knight
Felix's
Rider
car
mode?
on tricks.
Does it
I
have a
couldn't
Knight
hear you,
Rider
Ross.
mode? That's what I want.
Knight Rider? Oh,
Knight
probably.
Rider.
I haven't found it yet though. It looks like Knight Rider. It's all black with a black tint. So keep it low
I
key.
bet you could probably get a light system and program that damn thing to do it too.
The Model X actually has like a thing that'll play. You can make it dance, like the one that has the Falcon doors that open up sideways like that. It will start flashing the lights and playing that like really psychedelic orchestra. I can't think of Trans-Siberian Orchestra. It plays a song and it coordinates the doors opening and closing and like lights flashing to the music. It's like when you see a house.
Oh,
with
how
the
cool
Christmas
is
tree.
that?
Yeah, the Christmas lights.
Cheers,
Hey,
Cheech
what's
B.
up, Chicha?
Cheers. Good morning.
Cheers, Chicha. How are you?
Good. Good morning,
That's one
guys.
sexy lady you got inside your garden.
She's in the dark right now.
What?
She's in the dark.
Is it her time?
Girl.
It's her time.
Oh man.
Speaking of dark.
She's
Don't you wish we could do that? It's her time and just lock her in a room in the dark.
Yeah, she's pretty much locked in a room right now.
I was gonna say there was some documentary thing I was watching, and like I don't know, they were watching some native tribe, and the way the community was, they would like segregate the women during the time of month. They had a special fucking hut. You go live in the fucking hut for a week, and then you can come back. Then you can come back later when you're done with that. And they fucking sent them off, dude. I was dying laughing. I was so funny.
Nothing to do
You
with that.
bleed Red River. You need no
they
hut.
thought it was like evil spirits or some shit. Like they're bleeding. They're fucking out of this fucking village now, bitch. Like you're out here.
It's so true, too.
That's crazy, Smiley.
She's still living, and she's been bleeding that long.
Something wrong with her.
If I did what I did to my plants tonight to a lady, I'd go to prison because I just chopped them up, man. Fucking, it was harvest night. Cut that thing into little itty bitty pieces. Threw it in the dryer. Fucking
put it in a little compartment.
Yeah.
Little compartment.
Oh man, I love the smell of harvest. Just like that fresh, just terps flying in your face. And
I bought 2 of those herbs now.
Nice.
I could probably use a second one. I've been like, I had 2 plants and I had to do 3 loads of the herbs now. So the first plant I took down, filled it up without harvesting the whole plant. There was still probably like 25% of it left. And then the 25% of that plus the first half of the second plant. And now I'm just getting the second half of the second plant down tonight. But to be honest,
what's
those
strain?
Velvet Punch F2 seeded up with the F3 Velvet Punch seeds. That'll be
nice. So what will that create? An F4 then?
If I take those F3s and then cross them together, it'll make an F4. So I took the F1s that my buddy Doja DNA sent to me. I made F2s. I grew those F2s out. I selected a male and then 2 females, pollinated both females with the male. And now those seeds will be the 3rd generation, or F3. Filial generation is what F stands for. Or like basically sibling cross to sibling. It's like an inbreeding approach.
Yep.
But is it still considered inbreeding if you send it out to play in another garden and have it come back?
Yeah.
So the way that like this plant breeding is done, when you're doing like different F generations, you have 2 different options. Like I could have crossed it to something else, like made an F1, and you've got yourself a hybrid then. But I took an F1 that was already created by my buddy, and I just took that to the 2nd generation and now 3rd generation. But like you could do back crossing and a whole bunch of other shit, but this is probably the more basic.
When you're back crossing, are you strengthening the strain?
So you're making it more specific. So like I'm making Velvet Punch right now. So if I got a Purple Punch clone, like my barber has, he was actually going to do a back cross. He was going to take my Velvet Punch F1 or F2 that he found a male and pollinate Purple Punch, which is the mother of Velvet Punch. So when you go and cross it back to that Purple Punch mom, you're going to get more Purple Punch in the DNA. So that's back cross 1st generation, BX1.
So it kind of doubles the mom's trait. Is that right?
You get a higher percentage of, so in the 1st generation, you get like 25% that lean towards mom, 25% that lean towards dad, and then 50% are a mix, roughly. And by the time you do the back cross, you're going to get more like 50% lean towards mom. The 1st generation, back cross generation 2, it goes up to like in the mid 70s. 3rd generation is like high 80s, and then eventually I think the 4th generation is high 90s. It's like 97, and the next one would be 99. That's where the whole Cinderella 99 came from. He back crossed it 4 times, I believe.
So so that basically when you do it like that, that's just like almost having a clone in a seed, right?
As close to it as you can get. Here's the kicker though, it doesn't just work like that. You have to have a male that is different enough from what you're picking that you can identify and like correctly select an each back cross generation to try and get the most of that trait. Because like if in that first back cross you select the wrong way, then you're not going to see as much of the things that you're looking for. And sometimes it's messy because like unless you're working with like landrace, a lot of the stuff is like cookies to OG to chem to cookies to OG to chem and back into cake and cookies and OG and chem. So
yeah, I'm noticing that in mine. I can tell where the male's coming through because the male is those blue leaves, you know, so that blue's showing up. So I'm like, oh yeah. I misidentified the male too. It's the bubble. It was the bubble leader. After whoever said that the other night, tell me about the Cascadian. About the way it stretched. Yeah, so I think I'm pretty sure I used the Bubba leaning male, and it's with the blue heron in it. So I thought it was the 50-50, but if the 50-50 would be the stretch, then because I had 3 phenotypes, and he says there's typically only 3 in that. He only identifies 3, and he's had that running for 12, 10 years, 10, 11 years, something like Salmon River's been around.
Jack, what's the difference between an in-cross and a back cross?
that's a good question. I'm actually a little stony and blanking because I might have been describing an in-cross if we're getting technical. Back cross is I'm usually referring to like back crossing to the mother. In crossing, some people would refer what I'm doing right now as in crossing or inbreeding, line breeding.
You're doing so an like IVL, you're using the same male?
Because they'll have like the IXL on some lines or
so I just that you reminded me there. So if I would use like Velvet Punch F2 male and then cross that to like the F2 or F3 or whatever generation and work back to that, I'd be in crossing to the Velvet Punch, whether it was the first generation, second generation, or third generation. That's my understanding is how in crossing can be done. So you could just keep male pollen around, or you could keep a male. Like the American one has the proprietary, and no, yes, the cheesequake male. We'll say, for example, if he made an F1, called it Amy Aces, and then we wanted to F2 Amy Aces, and you found something at F2 you liked, but you wanted more of that cheesequake, you could cross back to the cheesequake male. The F2 would hit the original cheesequake male would hit the F2, and that would be an in-cross.
See, I thought in-cross, I guess in my mind, I was thinking in-cross would be like, we're talking, I'm just going to use DOA's project, for example, but like Eagle has Colombian, he's going to have a male and a female from that. I have the Jack Skillington, I'm going to have a male and a female from that. Now we would both make like F2s, so we would select male and female to breed. The progeny of that would breed, you know, the Jack Skillington progeny to the Colombian progeny, or where you'd kind of have two different family trees of the same side is kind of what I'm getting at, you know what I mean? And then you bring them back together
well, if you separate them and then you bring them back together like that, you give yourself further to work before you need to separate them again.
Yeah, I guess I'm not sure what I'm talking about.
Well, I was gonna say you're kind of if you guys both F2 them and then you're taking F2s and then crossing F2 to F2, you're gonna create an F1 out of that.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
But I think what you're doing by making the F2, I admire a non-cannabis breeder. His name's Luther Burbank. I've talked about him many times on the show. He's the guy who bred the spineless cacti. He also bred a bunch of different things like one of the California daisy. And he bred a ton of different really cool stuff like blackberries and he's just an interesting individual. Apples, yeah. The reason I bring him up, there's a thing called the Burbank, also known as the russet potato. He started in Massachusetts and then moved to California. But when he was in Mass, he had a potato farm. And what he did was he wanted to get into breeding, and he figured out the F2 is where there's like a lot of variety, and you can find really unique and sometimes really cool and good things. So he found this russet potato that was resistant to blight, and the potato blight was a big issue. That's like the potato famine in Ireland was There's people that literally starved to death because they couldn't grow enough potatoes.
Yeah.
Luther Burbank found that at F2, and he realized at F2 there's a ton of variation. You can find really unique unicorns out there, like that blight resistant potato. And so with all of his breeding, he wasn't like the most documented. He didn't like take great notes, but he would F2 most of his stuff, find a really unique specimen, and then work with that, and then take that down a different path. So I think there's something to F2ing it and seeing what is within that gene pool. Because by making F2s, and I gave out 700 of them, 70 10 packs to the people in the community for free, I've seen hundreds of them grown now by a handful of growers and myself. So it's really cool to see what was available at the F2 and then the selections that I made. Because I have like another idea of F2s that I might want to go back and play around with. That's different than the selection that I'd made this round. Like that sawtooth pheno that the American one has, where it has really, really zigzag leaves. I found about 1 in 15 at the F2. So I think that if I found just did enough, I have hundreds of these seeds, I could pop enough of them, find a male, find a female, and then start. Those F3s would likely have more sawtooth, and then I could take that to like F4 and then cross that to potentially like the Australian bastard that I have, and just like play around with different morphologies and things like that.
That's because since I didn't keep my male, that's kind of the path I'm taking. But I'm just doing 20 right now, but I want to try to do almost my, I got the 99 here, but I mean, I could do anything and it wouldn't matter, but I try to stay within whatever they give me. And take the ones that I've seen now, because I crossed one male to 4 phenos that look different to me. There's 5 plants, but 4 looked distinctively different of the moose and lobster. And out of that, they're all looking good. And one's like killing the weight. It's just like, oh my heavens, I don't know what happened here with this. It's just heavy, man. I'm just super heavy. But 2 of them are super, super frosty, just like other stuff in the room. So I'm taking those, and I'm going to drop a large number of those to look for 2 out of that, because those were separated enough. They're not a back cross at all. And if it's far enough in the parentage that I don't have to worry about it, that look the same, and do another same kind of back cross for plants that look the same now in that, to see what happens, But I didn't send any testers out. I just, I grow in a little bigger area than you do. You grow in a micro grow. I mean, if you had a bigger area, you'd drop all those, you'd find all that stuff a lot faster.
We're on the 20.
All right. Well,
sorry, Rez.
Cheers.
Sorry,
Rez.
Right. I didn't mean to. I just wanted to bounce in between that.
Cheers.
Everybody grab your bongs. Let's take a hit. Or pipes, joints.
I've been token, but cheers. Rez, I will say this. They have what's called the limits exemption, which is even higher than 99 in California. So if you talk to your doctor, that's what I have, and you can grow as many as you want. I got it mainly because I want
a couple times.
And I want to start doing tissue culture with the Curador. I just was reading a study about how blue light actually keeps the plants more squatty without having to use PGRs or growth hormones that they would typically have to use in tissue culture to keep the plant shorter and stay within that.
I have 3 5,000s that I bought at Walmart, the LEDs that are 7,000 lumens, 5,000 lumens. But dude, I can put a lux meter, that's all I have, under those compared to my cob, which grow the shit. And there's more lumens coming off the 5,000s. A lot. Tons. And if I took you in here right now, just add, I mean, if you added just a little bit of whatever you're doing besides the blue, somebody did it, you can grow some good weed, man. There's beautiful plants. I mean, you're talking internodes like 1/2 inch on those moose and lobster I got in there, because it's keeping them nice and squat. He doesn't seem to be eating up the newts. I'm not using newts, but the fuel in my M3 as fast. I mean, I got clones that have gone for 2 months in 16 ounces under the 5,000 K. Now under the cobs, they wouldn't do that. They would eat up the nutrients a lot faster.
They're growing slower too, though, when you are having under less intense lighting. Like I have a less intense light in my veg. It's 4,000 K, and I used to veg under 6,500 K, And I do think that the blue is great for keeping that node really short. And it has been shown to make roots strike quicker and things like that. But it's good for clones, veg, all that good stuff. But I definitely think you can flower under those lights, especially the one thing I was going to say though is lumens are for humans. We have to look at par because lumens heavily favor certain wavelengths that humans' eyes pick up on versus plants see 400 to 700, arguably like 400 to 800. If you want to talk about like the far red, infrared, UVs are actually 200 to 300, 400 range.
It's just so much nicer right beside me. I got one cob in there now because I'm going to start transit as I pull a plant out or 2 plants out. I'm going to put one in. So I left one cob in there to transition them a little bit while under the cob before they go under a whole room full of cobs.
What color cobs do you use?
I got the 3500 Ks from that cobshot.net. So they've been killing it, man. And as I've said before, if you close the room up and you have nothing in there and you leave it and come back, you will smell the sweet smell of ozone. So there's ozone UV being put off from the lights. Yeah, I know that smell well. It's an added plus in a grow room. And if you have a room full of lights and you can't smell it, that's what you want. You want enough in there where you really can't smell it, but it's doing something. That's the way ozone should be used inside. You don't want to smell it. If you smell it, it's bleach, and now it's harmful. You have too much of it. It's like it's a pollutant. They say it's not really a pollutant though, because in the environment, San Diego, Los Angeles, with a guy who didn't have a degree, they used his theory on it for the carve out here and everything, and they measure the pollution level by the ozone. Well, that's only because the ozone's doing its job. It comes down to match the pollution until the pollution drops, and then the ozone level drops. It's just
That's not true. Ozone's a reaction from pollution. Ground level ozone is a reaction with heat and carbon monoxide pollution.
You tell me that you next time the lightning strikes, ozone is produced by the sun. Ozone is produced by
sun and pollution, so it's reacting at ground level, and
it's not a pollutant. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's reacting down here, but when the pollution is depleted, the ozone level is depleted. It's not there. It's not reacting. So I'm saying it's not in the environment because the pollution is not there. So you can't measure it out in the country.
Fire, but that's like saying you don't have a fire without any wood. Once the wood's gone, your fire's gone. The pollution's what causes it. That's what I'm saying. Like the high temperature, free-level carbon.
It's not created by pollution.
That's why they have the ozone action days on super hot days, because that's when the ground level ozone can happen, and it absolutely is a poison. It's not good.
But it's created by the sun. Listen, if the lightning strikes, there's a high amount of negative ions put off and a high amount of ozone put off when a lightning strike happens. That's why when you walk out after a rainstorm, whether it's lightning strikes, it's really sweet air. Or if you get in the sun in the right way in the desert, you walk outside, it's that really sweet air just for a moment. You won't smell it for a long time, but it's natural ozone in the environment where there's a place where there's no pollution. So when pollution happens in a city, the earth goes, we got to take care of this shit. The humans ain't doing what they're supposed to do. The earth does its job and burns up the ozone. The sun increases.
Lightning strikes occur in the magnosphere, correctly? That's where that's our protection from solar strikes. So that's where you're thinking where it heats up, and when actually we see the solar lights there are, goddamn, the northern lights. There you go, southern lights. The northern lights.
Lightning happens on the ground.
Northern lights,
because you'll find places in the world where they don't get enough lightning, where they don't get that, like certain sides of mountains, they'll show a higher rate of suicide in those areas because they're not getting enough of the negative ionization that's in the air because of the way the currents are. So people are living in areas where they shouldn't really be. They're nice places on lakes and stuff in Europe, and there's high suicide rates because they just don't get the right air mixture because it doesn't happen. So, I mean, it's.
You ever hear something say that there's correlation does not equal causation? There could be a
What's
whole
that?
bunch of other reasons. Correlation does not equal causation. Like ice cream sales go up every single summer, and murders also happen to go up in the summer. But people eating ice cream doesn't cause them to murder.
That's true.
People murder more in the summer because it's hotter, they're crazier, and it's more opportune for them to be able to move around. When it's snowy and cold, it's harder for them to commit types of crimes like that, leave footprints and shit. So correlation does not equal causation. You can't just say the lack of ozone is why all these rich European people are probably fucking sad they chased money their whole life and never spent time with their family.
There's books, there's papers on it. I don't read papers, but there's papers on it. Papers where suicide rates are higher, where the negative ionization rate is lower. That's a paper, and I'm not into papers. I used to be in the air purification business. It was one of the things we focused on, was looking at those things. My
degree is in psychology, and I've read a lot about suicide, and I'll tell you that the studies are not conclusive on that.
Not conclusive.
It's very, what you're quoting is shoddy data.
Back to the lightning strikes. So, Jack, lightning strikes don't come from there. They're being grounded to there.
They start at the ground. If you watch a slow motion video,
you ever seen a spirit? You know what a spirit is? When lightning actually shoots up into space.
A sprite.
So there's different types of lightning. I'll say that. There's lightning that strikes through the clouds, but there's also lightning that starts on the ground, and it could strike you from your foot straight up into the sky. And people have their literally holes blown through their foot. Some lightning starts on the ground. I'll just say that.
It looks like it's kind of like a capacitor. That's what the Earth is.
There are rare instances where there is from Earth to sky lightning. They're not sure what causes it, but I don't know necessarily. I think it's just a matter of where it's a hot point. Basically,
it happens.
It's ass backwards. You know what I mean? You're seeing the light and it's working backwards versus the hot spot working down, the arc working down. Is basically, I think the connection's the same. It's just being seen in reverse a little bit.
There's two electron theories too. There's proton theory and there's electron theory. So like the flow of electricity can be viewed two different ways. In the flow of like the perceived flow of protons or the actual flow of electrons, if that makes any sense. But there's two different theories to the electric though. So that's all I'm saying.
Before we go in more into the lightning thing, I just wanted to say I'm not trying to shoot you down, Rez. I'm just saying suicide is really poorly understood in general. And the data, there's a lot of people that have theories and hypotheses about what may be causing suicide spikes. But then there's like things like reporting about it on the news. Some people think that it causes chain reactions. Some people don't. But there's been instances where certain areas, they report about it and then it spikes. And then there's areas where it happens, they report about it and it doesn't spike. So it really regionally depends. I think culture depends. Like something that's really not known about suicide, like one of the lowest populations is African-American women, which you might think because like the media always talks about, oh, they're oppressed, you know, women of color, people are racist against them, people are sexist against them. It could be harder for this reason or that reason. You might expect they have high suicide rate because they have so much difficulty in life. But in reality, they actually have some of the lowest suicide rates of anybody on the planet.
Strong people.
Could it mean because all that you said isn't really true?
I'm confused. Can you elaborate?
I just had friends.
If it was that bad, then like you'd expect black women to be jumping off cliffs, right? If the world,
or you could say that suicide is a thing of privilege, and that's actually what the data says. Rich white people are the most often committing suicide, but people that are poor are usually just like, not to say that poor people don't kill themselves too, but rich people kill themselves at a lot higher rates.
Though they're fine with the suffering. It's not that big of a deal to them.
I guess that's a way of thinking about it. That's what we're talking about culture. It's like if you came from a culture of slavery, like African American people
You know
in
who
the
you're,
United
what you're
States
talking
read
about.
through
Let's
history.
just take this out of America, the African Americans. The lowest rate of suicide is with all indigenous and like Inuit tribes and people that are far detached away from civilization and high population densities and cell phones and looking at a screen all day. I only popped out for 5 seconds from the YouTube to the Zoom. I don't know how lightning got correlated with suicide, but I missed something.
What
Rez was talking about ozone and its connection to his
this
light.
is what I'll say about suicide, because I've had a lot of friends in the last year and a half, and one just 2 weeks ago. He was not a good friend, but it was a guy I went to school with, and so somebody I would have talked to. I don't know how he killed himself, but he killed himself. And I think the major reason for suicide is that people think they're worth nothing and they have no worth. However they got there, I don't know. But if you're out there and listening to me right now, I'm gonna tell you, you got worth, and you're way more worth than killing yourself. So I love you. Jack loves you. Somebody talk to you. So you have worth. Everybody out there has way more worth than you even think you have. Even the ones who think they have worth, you have more worth than you think. I'll leave it at that, because it hurts me. Because I've had a lot of people just die that I was hooked to, got them started into something. They killed themselves later, and now they're dead. Now, I don't hold fault for it anymore, but somebody loves you.
From an American standpoint, we would think on like people that are subsistence life farmers, or they're living off the land, or they're totally uncommunicated tribe still living in X amount of years in the past. We're supposed to be, technologically advanced and pity those people. They're like, oh, dude, man, they still got to spear animals to survive. We got it so lucky. But here we're sad and depressed, and those people are totally fine and content and happy.
Yeah,
Because
some people
happiness
are
isn't
there.
tied to things and what we find in pleasure. Pleasure is not the way to finding happiness, I think, is what it proves. I don't know. There's a lot to it, more of like community and self-accomplishment, different things like that too, that, if you get out and you finish a project, you're less likely to be real depressed about stuff too, so like there's a lot of things that play roles. I'm not trying to say like I know everything. I know there's all kinds of crazy things that happen, but I'm just saying, like,
Very weird subject for the wormhole. That's all I'll say.
yeah,
I think that it's something that we shouldn't steer away from, though, because it is an important topic. 22
Jack,
veterans every single day. I just pulled on a hoodie.
Okay.
But I was going to say 22 veterans. I think this is an important thing. So if you would just not interrupt me for like 5 seconds, Red Pill, I'd really appreciate that. 22 veterans a day in the U.S. and probably more outside the U.S. take their own lives. So if you know a veteran, take the time to reach out to them and maybe give them a second, even if they say they, don't have that time to talk. Try and make some time and reach out and check in on them, see how they're doing. And like he always says, do something nice for someone. I think this time I'd advocate do it for a veteran, because too many of them, 22 a day. That's 22 too many.
Wow, man, that's so wild. That's more than what's lost in war, right? In the actual war.
That's absolutely true.
That's so crazy. That's really sad.
I don't know. I'm not there, and I'm not doing the numbers, but they say the numbers is higher for suicide than it is from the death toll of whatever's going on out there. People being locked up, kids being locked up. I'll leave it at that. Suicide rate is high around the world because people are being locked up in their houses.
I apologize that I interrupted, but I already knew that stat. So,
but maybe some of the people in the audience would like to hear it, Red Pill. And I'm going to jump out. Have a good night, everybody. Eagle, thank you for having me. Smiley, good to see you. Johnny, good to see you. Rez, Chicha, Eagle, everybody. Peace and love. I'll be in the chat.
Thank you, Jack. Appreciate you, brother.
A lot of guys, a lot of events today.
Later, Jack. Just always, brother.
They used to have a challenge. There's the guys doing. I knew a guy who probably still is. I don't think he's retired yet. Special forces. They were going to do 22 push-ups. And they all do them certain ways, different ways. Like just make sure you do at least 22 push-ups a day. So they were challenging people who didn't do push-ups to do 22 push-ups a day to remind you that there's 22 veterans.
That's cool. Yeah, my brother's a chaplain in the Air Force, so most definitely he's on the front lines of dealing with that too. So pretty interesting. I never realized that they you know what I mean, they do tours too or whatever, you know what I mean? Like I never realized that was an equal like officer role to be a chaplain, and I always thought that was a pastor or, you know what I'm saying, like somebody outside of the military, but you actually have to be part of the military to be that. So like he had to he was in the military for 8 years initially, and then he was out for like 16, and he had to re-enlist and then go through basic again and prove he had the physical stuff or whatever. But once he was done, then they put him right into officer training because he had to be an officer to be a chaplain. Then you're I'm not sure the distinction of the credential or whatever, but there's whatever. He was like the first level of officer. So
well, and once you get there, I mean, they can also make the decision at that point, once you've been back in, to reinstate your other time and give you your rank based upon, like they do in college.
Yeah.
Based upon your experience, they can say, take you to a board, go through your knowledge, go everything, and say, all right, move this guy to this rank. You know, because in wartime, you know, back in the other wars before, you know, the platoon sergeant got killed. So what they do, hey, shipment was one in next week, a new platoon sergeant in E5, and they'd be like, you are the new E5. You just got promotion. You got a pay raise. Tell us what to do. What? Oh shit.
No, he actually got the officer training and all that. So he gets saluted when he walks in rooms and shit. It's pretty cool. He's a smart dude though. He was my nephew, actually. This is kind of cool. My nephew is fucking like Doogie Howser smart. So he's graduated high school with an associate's degree in college already. And then he joined the ROTC, and he's coming out to, they live in Arizona, but he's coming out to, New Mexico. But he's coming out to Michigan State to whatever with the ROTC, but he wants to, his end goal is to be part of the Space Force that they're launching for whatever Trump, I don't know, I guess Trump's getting called for naming it or whatnot, but the Space Force is like that new division they're forming to deal with whatever happens in outer space, I guess. I don't know. Aliens.
That's cool. That's badass.
My neighbor used to be in charge.
Hey, fucking goals, man.
Dude, he's like on point. Like for real. He was playing basketball, all kinds of shit in high school too. So he's like got all that going for him too. Yeah, he's like their star candidate for all that shit, I think. So.
Hell yeah.
I think most of my family's out now. I might have a cousin who's still in. If he is, he's a general by now. He was a colonel.
Well, you just laid out the plot to the movie Space Jam. Your cousin, he's gonna save the world from aliens, and he's gonna do it by beating them in the game of basketball.
Basically, what was that? 1996, 97?
Yeah, 96, 97.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
First DVD I bought, a five disc changer. That was the same year Armageddon came out on DVD.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god!
Buying DVDs.
Yeah. a lot of space threat movies, aliens from space, asteroids from space. That was going on in '96.
Was that the same year as the last Aliens? They made
that was Independence Day too.
Independent? Was that the same year?
Yeah.
Really?
It's weird how they do all the movies the same kind of time frame too. Like,
It's all part of the disclosure, man.
it's all part of the programming.
Yeah.
It's all part of the all part of the
training.
That's a lot of truth in that.
There's damn a lot of truth in that, man.
99%.
Like War of the Worlds, the original War of the Worlds that they
I've seen that in theater.
broadcast on radio way back. You know what I'm saying? Before TV, all that they broadcast the world of
Orson Welles.
That's when they realized, man, people were jumping out of windows of buildings and shit because they
even
thought,
before then, they had
they thought
something.
aliens were invading because they heard it on the radio, and they were doing all kinds of crazy shit. They heard it on the
Even
radio.
before then, they had something called the Battle for LA. And that's where supposedly a giant ass UFO was just sitting like dead straight over the city of LA. This is like in the 20s or 30s. Like everyone went out there with shotguns and guns and tried to shoot it down like an entire city's worth of people. And then like finally moved out of the way and never returned and that kind of shit. So,
It might look like that. It might look like that. It might
it's
look
already
like
happened once before, so don't be surprised if it happens again. You know?
I think they give you a lot of precursors to let you know what's coming. So if you're smart, you can avoid them. If you're not, you're just going to get zapped when it happens.
Zapped. Oh, they got recordings of these things that are unidentified. The government's talking unidentified. So,
what are you talking about? The one that they see that goes from zero to 60,000 feet in the blink of a second and doesn't move anything.
Yeah, those are the hypersonic.
You know what it looks like?
Hypersonic.
It looks like a wheel inside of a wheel, the throne of the Lord. It looks like the wheel inside of the wheel.
I don't know. There's really
Interesting
not any
concept there.
pictures I've seen of it, but their description, the one pilot said it looked like a big tic tac or something like that. He said it was that kind of a shape of like a tic tac, and that's kind of the way it went. But yeah, there's definitely, I mean, they've fucking been prepping all the pilots. Apparently, they prep them training for encountering them and shit, and like what to do, what not to do, kind of thing. So apparently, it's frequent enough that they're, I don't know.
This is your captain speaking. If you look at the starboard side of the plane, you will see 3 UFOs flanking the vehicle.
Right. Not really sure what the hell they are, so we're just gonna kind of pretend we don't see them and keep on our pattern.
Smile and wave.
Right?
Get your cameras out.
I don't know, man. That is weird.
And
you
on
know?
your left, you will
Listen,
see a spaceship.
And I'm not saying
Mothership.
it's aliens,
Triangles, the other ones, they don't look real to me.
That is
saw
the U.S.
videos.
military responding. Don't worry, they are our friends. They are the good guys.
right? And it's like, I mean, it's unidentified, so we don't really know what it is. That's all we know is it's unidentified, and it does characteristics that we can't really explain. So that's all we really know. But it could be.
Well, my theory is
some
that
technology that we don't know about either. You know.
Well, that's my thing. Is I think it's hypersonic. I think they actually got down the hypersonic flight, and if you do
It
the
can
math,
go right through the earth.
if you do the math on that distance that you need to go between 60,000 feet above sea level to 1 foot above sea level in just a second, that's actually the exact same amount of time it would need to be if you were traveling at hypersonic speed, which is, I think, 25 times the speed of sound. But yeah, that's totally, if that's a thing, if that's
it
possible.
It doesn't explain how that could be a manned craft that does that.
It doesn't need to be. They've had drone aircraft since the 60s. Doesn't need to have a man inside.
If it's the creator's chariot and he's the one who created this planet, it can do anything it wants.
Might be.
I did say if.
Identified.
I think that's what it is. I personally think from the description of the one moving around like that, that's my belief. He's that good, and it's kind of comical. And I think it is. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before.
Yeah, it's unidentified. That's all we know. I mean, that's all I'm saying. It's like, so yeah, to think if it was a manned craft moving at that kind of, those kind of telemetries is unthinkable for us. I mean,
right.
But if you went back 100 years, so would a cell phone, you know what I'm saying? A smartphone or what we're doing right now would have seemed unbelievable 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So
I can imagine. I can imagine. You
So
can't imagine. I can
they
imagine.
say technology's advanced, like a lot of the, I don't know, I've heard that before, like the defense systems and all that, like the technology we're getting is like 10 years old for like all the people developing them and shit. So
It's probably more like 20.
with that thought, you're already halfway to your 20 years of the cell phone that didn't exist 20 years ago. You know what I mean? Now this could be the new whatever form of travel that didn't exist 10 years ago or 20 years ago. So
The hypersonic flight.
yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible. It's interesting. It's intriguing.
Well, you can't jump around with impossibilities. You can't say hypersonic flight, but some million-year-old farther technology, race of beings out there in space, they got some other kind of propulsion device. Yeah, hypersonic, even for them, is impossible, but something else, is,
Red Eye, I believe if you had the faith and it was to do something really good for somebody, that you could be at that person to do that for them anywhere in the world right now, if you needed to be there. I'm thinking about you could be transported from here to there. I know I totally believe any person.
I don't want to dabble in that though, because then you're like,
I'm not telling dabbling. You might not know it's going to come. You might just be thinking about it.
It happens physically. I can't snap my fingers and be in Italy right now.
I wish.
No, but the person I know could put
the
you
dream
there.
right there.
I don't think you get to use it.
All I got to do
is
use one toe.
Jump around, do whatever you want. I think it happens, and people do something good when it happens.
Wait, what do you mean? Like I have to do something good?
I'm just saying.
How bad am I being? I got to stop being a bad boy and I can
Jeez, Rampel, chill.
No, I think I think it could happen to anybody.
You're
sitting
a bad boy, Red Pill.
a bad boy, and I can't teleport because I haven't been a good boy.
Right.
No, I don't think
Taking
so.
your teleport privileges away. You're grounded.
Yeah, your teleport privileges have been revoked.
People who have never,
Imagine if that was a thing.
Yeah, people who have never come to believe have all kinds of miraculous things happen in their life, and they happen for a reason to hoping they come to believe. So it doesn't just happen to people who believe. You see miraculous things all the time, and most people write it off as, I don't know what happened, it was a freak of nature, but it's meant to show you something else. So
are you speaking in parables?
Sometimes.
Okay.
And then who needs to hear it hears it. Who doesn't hear it doesn't hear it. And I don't speak it. I don't do it on purpose either.
So you might say there's deaf ears it falls upon.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. If you can give a response, it doesn't fall on deaf ears.
No, you're right.
That's just deflection.
I'm being a smart ass. You saw through it.
That's okay. I still love you.
Okay.
No, I just think people are more capable of more than they actually know. I know everybody sitting out there is capable to do more things to benefit people, not to benefit themselves. So I can go to Italy just so I can see to Italy. Not that couldn't happen, but if your heart is to really help something and to do the right thing for people on the planet, it happens.
Do you know who
little things, it happens in big.
Have you ever
miraculous happens?
Damian Walters?
No, I don't know
He's like a gymnast, like freak of nature kind of guy. He can flip through the air, he flies like a squirrel and that kind of shit. But his whole thing, because people are always like, how can you do that, man? It's so amazing. People are like, they ask him that all the time. And his same response is, whatever you think you're mentally capable, your body is 10 times physically capable of doing that. So he'll literally like jump off a 3rd-story building and hit the ground rolling. And people are like, that's crazy. And he's like, well, I just know that my physical body is capable of doing that. And he does like triple backflip, cartwheels, and all this kind of shit. He literally like wears like a jumpsuit, and he gets undressed and redressed by doing like back handsprings all at the same time. Like it's literally stuff that you would think defies laws of physics.
Yeah.
And same thing. He's like, we don't give ourselves as much credit as we really have. Like we think we limit ourselves or what we think we're physically capable of doing. And then he proves that all wrong. He can literally fly around like a goddamn.
I had an instance one time in middle school, right? And we had this gymnasium, not the gymnasium, but the auditorium. And it had that real shallow carpet. But I used to always run through, and you could run through and skate your feet across, and they wouldn't slap, and you could just get good speed. But one day, it's just like I flew across this thing. You know, I could never recreate it. It would never happen the way it happened that day. I mean, it was just like I floated on the floor the whole way around this curved, brand new carpet for what, 200, 150 feet or whatever. But I know now it was something supernatural. It happened then, but I didn't realize later that I read somewhere and actually somebody had it happen to them in scripture, that something like that happened. And then I said, that makes total sense. But I never could recreate the feeling of the run or the speed that was gained from one side of the room. Because when I got the other side of the room as probably a 12-year-old or 11-and-a-half-year-old, I went, that was something weird about that, you know? So.
Yeah, maybe this guy's got angel wings. We don't know.
I said it the last time or 2 times ago. I was on a plane into the wind from Baltimore to Los Angeles, and the pilot comes on and goes, everybody take your seats. The plane's going to be landing an hour and 15 minutes early. Into the wind. And people are just looking around going, how's that happen? You know, but I knew what happened.
It was
you know the presence. You just know that presence was there. I knew a presence was there that was carrying the plane right in through the wind. You know.
So you made it through? Obviously you made it through. You're here talking to me, but I mean,
an hour, into the wind.
Was it real bad, or did you make it through like there was nothing even?
It was one of those things. People were like, how the hell do you get here from Baltimore to Los Angeles an hour and 15 minutes before your flight into the wind, before it's supposed to arrive?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to account for that, but I've done the same thing. I've flown from Seattle to Milwaukee in the same thing. I don't know if it was an hour and 15 minutes quicker than we should have been there, but same thing, where the weather that we had going into there, you would think like plane can't even lift off the fucking ground. And then you fly through the sky and it's literally like gray skies, no sun at all. And you pop through the clouds and it's completely blue sky or above any bit of weather that's going on.
Yeah. Into the wind. Yeah, the pilot was a little shocked.
It was headwind. It was turbulent. I mean, I haven't been on many flights. Mostly every flight I've been on was the same level of turbulence, but this was something where I didn't know if this is normal or something that is to be concerned about. Maybe some people are scared.
That was the best flight I've ever had. That was the smoothest flight I've ever had.
I just wondered, did the time change? Like, did you cross a time zone? Because if you were flying a 2-hour flight and you lost an hour, that would kind of be like.
No, we're the plane
you gain hours going east
that many hours. West. We knocked an hour and 15 minutes off the flight going.
This is the same thing, because when you go west to east, wherever it is east of you, it's always later. So it's the time.
No, we knocked an hour and 15 minutes off the flight, not taking off the time zone. The time zone.
Well, what I'm saying is, if you're traveling west to east, not only is it later wherever you're going to land, but then you have to add on top of the time the plane needs to travel there. But you gain time when you go east to west.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So if you're on a plane and it does something totally out of the ordinary, if you're on it or anybody's on it, you should know something different's going on, because it's going against what they say should happen. So if the pilot says that you don't fly into the wind and gain speed, it does not happen. You can go from get a tailwind and get really pushed, but you ain't flying into the wind and get speed in the plane. It just doesn't happen. So, anybody who sees something like that happens, why does that happen? Well, because there's other things at work besides just the mechanism that a man has made in all kinds of instances. So there's things that happen supernaturally. And it's always to get your attention that there is somebody that created you. It's always back to that. It's always back to that one thing. It's just that one thing.
I like that. We think we figure everything out, but there's so many things that are anomalies about like water. There's like, I don't know. That's the comical part to me, is like everything we think we figured out.
Yeah. Yeah. So I always point it back to that. I always get right back to that because I'm like, wait a second. And then I tell people, just look through your life. Look at all the good things, or maybe even bad things you're protected from, or good things maybe you shouldn't have, and then you were protected from them, or all kinds of things that happen. But in the midst of just going through life, there's things that always come up and say, what the hell happened? What was that? Why was that? So
Anyway.
So I hope I can do something here. Need a little bit of help here.
all right.
Stony Rockefeller did send me over a couple of possibilities for new Gap songs. So hopefully
nice.
I can share.
Yeah.
All right. This is all right. I should do this like you judge this, just not say only
How
one
many
of them's on
options
here.
did he give you?
There's two. There's one of the original one, and I don't know. Yeah, I should probably be able to access it, but I'm gonna have to play it after this. Here's one. Hopefully, I will play. Unsupported document. Please use a PDF or an image. I can't share a song.
What the fuck?
Can you play
All
it
right,
like
give
on
me
your
a
phone
minute.
or something?
Yeah, play it on your phone.
I'm on my phone.
Oh,
Dang it.
All right. Give me,
That was a good idea,
just give me a
Chicha.
second. Just give me a second. Bear with me, guys. You can talk though while I figure it out. I'm sorry, I don't mean that.
Okay.
Trying to figure out whether we're going to start singing or not. If it's a sing along, or just a tug along. Tug along, hit your bone, charge your
Sing a
sweet,
song.
hit your vape, charge your vape.
Give me something good to eat. Trick or treat.
There's somebody who does it. Says that thing that is in that thing that Sub used to always say, and the song, he says in the song, he always says light your vapes, charge your spliff.
Your bongs, your hookahs, your big Zeppelins, your diesel Cummings powered bong.
Jesus.
That's farmer equipment there, man.
Yeah.
Get your tractor hooked up to the generator. Get a bucket full of weed.
Oh,
Put it on
yeah.
a bonfire. Put it on a
Get this
bonfire.
barn a burning.
Put it
Yeah.
on a bonfire. I got so much weed, I just buy bonfires. We don't burn trees anymore. We burn weed. We let the oaks grow.
That's real good for the ozone. I don't mean to bring it back. That was a bad callback. How dare
I've been under the hole with the
Red
ozone
pill.
layer in South to the south.
I regret it.
You go to Chile, you'll get fried.
Oh, my.
Everybody in Chile walks around with cataracts in their eye. You got to wear glasses. You got to wear glasses like you need for a grower.
I? Polarized. You got to get them polarized.
Yeah, they cover everything. They cover every tops and everything. All the dogs have cataracts.
I was born with cataracts. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Not really, but
Not really.
no.
I'm not agreeing with you there, Red.
No, I was being sarcastic. I don't know.
I
I
know,
got the
but I'm-
fucking Cheddar Bob bit me. I got the sarcastic bug.
You did?
Oh shit!
He turned you into a super villain.
Yeah. Spider-Man turned into Venom tonight. Sorry, guys.
Damn.
Didn't he? Well, I'm ripping one up here. I'm going to enjoy a hit. And smoke some of my outside grown Gondog Mimosa.
What's the satisfaction level on that one, Johnny? On a 1 to 10, what level of satisfaction are you getting after the hit?
Take a guess.
I'm going to rate that a 10 based on the reaction.
Well, it's got that mimosa flavor coming in, and then when you blow it out, it's got buttery popcorn.
Oh,
Oh, oh
So
man.
it's very enjoyable. I'm really shocked at even when I gave a hit to my neighbor when he blew it out. I said, "So what does it taste like when you blow it out?" And he goes, "Well, it tastes like popcorn," he said. And I said, "Yeah, buttery popcorn, right?" And he goes, "Yeah, that's it." He said there was something else in it. Yeah, it's got that greasy buttery popcorn kind of a.
The buttery popcorn
flavor.
doesn't get me. I don't know, man. Have you ever had the
Mm.
jelly bellies, the buttery popcorn jelly bellies?
I never did like those.
That's like the nastiest
I've
jelly
had-
belly there
yeah,
is, dude. Nobody
I've
likes
had that, but that's not the way
Yeah.
I've had butter popcorn terps before. It's more like, I don't know whose popcorn it is, you know, that like cheddar popcorn, that cheesy popcorn. That's what that kind of reminds me of. Not so much buttery, but almost like that cheddary, cheesy popcorn.
Yeah, this is definitely buttery.
like the
That's
fake
got that-
cheese, like when you spread the Kraft fake cheese on there.
Yeah, that's great cheese.
You do
Still
that
a
with the
square.
microwave? People do that with the Kraft, the macaroni and cheese, the cheese packet, and spread that on the popcorn.
No
I
way.
haven't had it
That'd
that
be
way.
messy.
Yeah.
I hope that butter comes
They
out.
sell
Oh,
it, dude.
yeah,
They
that
sell it
would
as
be.
a separate thing. You can buy it in like a shaker, a separate shaker, the cheese powder to put on popcorn. It's a
Yeah.
thing. So,
No, the
Oh,
one
I don't
had
like
was
it. I'm just
already-
saying that's a thing.
It is a thing. I had the butter and the I think white
I thought-
butter or something. It doesn't.
Yeah,
No.
it's like a weird. It's like white popcorn, white cheesy popcorn, buttery, weird shit.
yeah, I've
Yeah.
had that before.
I'm a plain popcorn guy, man. You can't. I don't like the soggy butter on there and stuff.
Anyone
And
remember those tins that they would sell? It was like Girl Scout cookies for popcorn.
Oh
but it was-
yeah, they're separated.
Yeah, the three
Cheese
different flavors. You got the
Yeah.
caramel, the butter, and
and the cheese.
cheddar. Yeah.
the Girl
You'd be
Scout
you'd be
cookies.
digging into that, and you'd be like, "Hey man, thanks for having this here, right for me to snack on." And then your buddy'd be like, "Oh dude, that's from like 2 Halloweens ago."
Wow, this
You
is
didn't
so
notice.
good.
I didn't notice. That is funny.
Yeah, the buttery was a little chewy, but the rest of it's good. Yeah.
Mhm. I broke my tooth on one of them damn caramel fucking.
I've just been hearing those.
You're like, these hard candies are good, man. The popcorn from 2 Halloweens ago.
It's like after dinner mints or something.
Popcorn?
That's too funny. Too funny.
Everything I'm
Okay,
smoking tastes
only
like
because I
good.
love you guys. Only because I
All
love
right.
you guys did I fucking go through that
Yes.
shit. I had to flip my devices,
You got it
change
figured
fucking
out?
headsets,
You the
and
man.
hook up some audio. All right, you guys ready? This is one possibility. Tell me if you can hear this or not, because this is
Everybody mute so we can all hear.
Are you ready? This is possibility 1. It sounds pretty good. All right, that's about halfway through the first song. It's 3 minutes and 12 seconds. That's pretty much what the original Dad song, something in that area. So that's option one. Rocks out pretty good. This is the other version. This is their version of the original.
I dig this one better.
Yeah, I feel like this is more like that dab feel or the, you know.
How long is this one, Eagle?
4 minutes and 26 seconds.
Nice.
Possibilities.
It's got a familiar beat, ring to it, but it's different. I like it.
Do they do the trumpet part?
Chat's even liking it.
I think I'm impressed by
I
both
don't
of
believe they do
those
that
comments.
with the horns.
Yeah, chat. What do you guys feel? 1 or 2?
I feel
feel,
number 2 coming on. I don't know.
I feel like all I'm gonna see is 2.
To me, I like number 1. It's really original. I like
Yeah,
that.
1 is original. That's true.
And I don't know, man. I'm pretty torn between the two of them. 2 is to me, it's classic. Is the 2, and 1 is the cooler one because it's original. But
Yeah.
that's just
Yeah.
It's got that rock and roll feel to it too. You can't deny the rock and roll feel to it.
No, I think the production level was on point with that one.
So them are the choices right there of current offerings of the Dead song by Stoney Rockefeller and his band there. Stoney, hopefully you're in chat. You can tell us who all is involved with that. But thank you for spending some time putting that together. I greatly appreciate
cool.
the show.
Very, very cool. Looks like we have a high fiber chat room. They're all waiting to go number 2.
I guess I was the only one that had enough fiber for today. I'm all pooped out.
Oh man.
I had a hard time hearing the lyrics.
On the first one?
Yeah, it was kind of muffled. So you did a good job getting it on there. You know.
Putting it together is a good job, man. Shit.
I know.
Yeah,
I don't.
very
There's
cool.
no way I could ever. I could have never
do
gotten.
If I ever get a good internet connection, I'll be able to share it properly. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
that might have been it too. Number 1 might have not been coming through the way it sounds.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking it wasn't presented properly. You know what I'm saying? We didn't really get the real hear of it like you did over there.
I wonder if there's a way like I could share it because unfortunately, I'm not saying fuck.
Well,
I love YouTube.
Maybe there's
but
a way
it's taking over
I
my
love
music
YouTube.
player.
I don't have the ability to because
they take over everything I play. So that song that when I play it, it comes up through YouTube Music plays it. So hopefully, maybe I can share it like anything else I share on YouTube. Shouldn't I be able to? I would think so. There should be a share option somewhere.
Well, if it's an original song, how could they have any complaint?
Right.
Well, because maybe somebody else he hasn't done copyrighted his own song. It'll happen.
It's just the platform to send it on. Or you can send it in a text, right? To like Smiley. I don't know if you got his number. Maybe Smiley could play it through his. I don't know.
Yeah, they sent it to me in an email, so I'm sure I could pass it along like that.
I'm sure you can find a better IT person than me. Just saying.
I feel like you would be really good.
Yeah, you would think. Not so
Hey,
much.
Smiley, when's your
You're like, no,
brother
no, not at all.
Shared on IT somehow.
Do you hear me, Smiley?
No, what's that?
When's your brother, the chaplain, coming to visit? He could figure this out, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know that computers are his thing either. I'm not sure.
Let's see, Ned Denver. He could probably figure that out.
Yeah.
He's been on top of that.
There's quite a few guys. I mean, I don't know. Luckily, I got friends that know how to do that stuff. So.
I got friends in low places.
Well, I mean, there's a lot to that. That was that Henry Ford was kind of known for that. Like, you know, he was wasn't he like not even a high school graduate or something? And there was an interview they were doing with him, and the guy was trying to make fun of him for not knowing some basic like high school history stuff. And his answer was pretty much like, if there was a time that I needed to know that information to have it stored in my brain, I can get a hold of like 10 people to give me that answer. Why would I waste, you know what I mean? Like, why would I waste my brain power on remembering some useless shit? Basically was his answer. Like when I got more important things to remember. So I don't know. It was kind of funny. I forgot where I was going.
Completely makes sense.
It's true though.
Yeah.
So there is some truth to ignorance is bliss a little bit there. Statement made.
Well, no, there's truth to having a good network of friends that know things. You don't have to know everything yourself. That's what I was getting at, you know.
Right on. I still don't watch the news, Smiley. I don't think it's ignorant is bliss.
Yeah.
But it's just what you choose to enter and waste your mind power on, your mental space on. That's what I'd basically get at with the news there. If they were actually kicking out like some good, positive, or informational stuff on the news, I'd be all over that shit. But anymore you turn it on, the drab, blah, blah, blah. You know, I don't even want that in my mental space.
Right.
So, that's why I would turn on the news.
Let the next Chicken Little listen to it and think the sky is falling down. Run around covered up. The sky is falling. The sky is falling.
I wish my humidity was.
Right.
Got cold in the desert again.
How cold is cold in the desert?
It's probably back down into 50, in the 40s, probably back into the 40s. Probably 40s tonight. But that means the humidity's higher than than I wanted it. I was just getting to the point where I was like, oh, I left enough foliage on it where I'm going to have the perfect humidity as long as the temperature stays up. And I'm like, oh, it finally got there. Now it's taking a dip again. Damn it. Never going to be perfect, but I'd rather have the humidity a little bit low than high. So it just means you either got to turn some heat on, or I forgot I didn't have the humidity. I turned the dehumidifier off. I didn't turn it off. I turned it up to like 45 or 50%. And you just turn it on, run continuously. at nighttime. So it actually and heated because the lights won't even keep it warm enough. The lights wouldn't keep the place because I only got like 900 watts in there. That 7.5 by 6.5 room, like 980 watts, 990 watts, something like that. And the run, you got to run that everything run a little bit to maintain it. Air conditioning needs to come on a little bit. The humidifier needs to come on a little bit. I just don't want to turn the heater back on. That's the one thing it'll solve it. It's like shit. What do you do?
Man, I'm running my swamp cooler all the time now. All through the night. At a certain point, I'll just turn the water off so it's just blowing the air through and circulating there. Because I got enough, the heat that my room's putting out here is putting out enough to heat up the house.
Mm-hmm.
As it is
I suggest
right
anybody
now,
who runs an air conditioner runs your fan
as
all
well
the time
as
anyway. So.
it's probably still in the 70s outside.
Especially if you live in a humid environment.
Yeah, I always
If you live somewhere where it's humid.
Yeah, I have 100 fans around my
When
house.
your air conditioner cuts off, your fan should still be running. It should be set to not auto. It should be set to fan. You want it to dry that out and let moisture out instead of letting it build in between shutoffs, up and down, because that air gets stale fast. You keep it going,
Yep.
so you have less allergy problems in your house. You won't give it a chance to get mold and mildew inside your ductwork. So doesn't give it a chance to get condensation, and dust sticks to it, and then a cake builds, and you got to have somebody clean it out. It costs a little more money to run it, but it's just a fan. It's not the system. You just want the fan running. Just a little tip: keep your house a little fresher.
Cheers, is 420.
Cheers. Wow.
Is it? Oh man.
420, 120. Yeah.
Cheers. Cheers.
Dang it, I wasn't ready. Shoot. Tortoise in the hare. I'll just go slow on this one.
So Eagle, how high do you stack your herbs now?
I stack it all the way, 5 high, as tight as I could get it, freshly trimmed buds.
So you don't
Right
go higher.
tight.
You don't add 6 or 7 onto it.
Mine just came with the 5. It just came with the 5, Russ. It just came.
He said he mentioned the other day he was going to be sending you another one.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice. I would use the shit out of it. That's what I tell him. I'd like the Model 2.0 loop. It has like a USB thing on it, and it has room for the little mister that comes with it. Or I don't know if it comes with it or if that's an option. Definitely cool.
I think it's going to be an add-on if he's selling, but he didn't have it up on the website since he changed everything. He didn't. I tried to order 2. I ordered an extra rack of trays to go with the 2, because that way I think it's 5 that comes in the extra. I think there's 5 more to come or 4 more to come. I'm not sure. I figured I'd split those between the 2 to get 7, because I heard the last time he was talking on here when he got the new order, I think he said don't go over 8, and even then you got to do more rotation. So I was thinking, well, I'll just do 7 then, and I might have to do more rotation, but not as much if I don't do 8. But yeah, I think he's going to sell that as an add-on. The air purifier, shot glass. He was talking about something else today. It's coming out. Something he said he couldn't mention. So. Yeah. Just do 5 high stuff.
Sure.
Do you wet trim and take all the leaves off?
Yes, I do. I wet trim right down to the bud. I mean, that's the one thing I like about the wet trim and my herbs now machine it's bud ready. It's jar ready when I take it out of that machine. It's actually cure ready.
You take it that close?
I see that smile smiling. Yes, I do. Because anything after that recedes right into the bud. It's always a nice looking bud when it's out of the machine.
Yep. Now that's the way I'm going. So what scissors are you using?
Diamond cut cold, man. Okay. I've got this model and I've got the other model as well.
Cool.
Oh,
Both of them work very well. Stay very sharp. Too sharp. I've bent my fingers with it once or twice.
I can't see it. Hold on. I saw on Danko's, Danny Danko's website today. I was looking at it because I was going to order his book, and he has a 10% off code on there for Diamond Cut Code. I think it's Dank 10 or Danko 10. If anybody out there needs scissors, I'm going to order some.
And Ego, I was just smiling because I didn't want to hear you have to complain about dry trimming forever.
As I still got a rack over there.
Do you?
I hate it. I hate it.
He's been putting it off. It's been over there. I don't know.
Fucking Smiley.
It's there.
I shit you not. That has been my personal. I walked over while you guys were talking and pulled one off the rack, and I showed like what was left off the stem there. I had just been deep fucking pulling it right off, plucking the leaves off. Right here, you see how ugly that thing is. Fucking all the shit that came out of my herbs now machine gone to patience. The shit, the overflow that I had to fucking dry trim. That's my shit right there. It's like, okay, I want my doink. All right, flip.
That's what I got it hanging right here, man. I got buds everywhere.
I don't even save that shit. It goes right into the ashtray. I'm not even fucking saving that trim.
It's like, hell no.
I throw it in a pot. I got a pot here on the stove, and then I'll throw some coconut oil in the pot.
That's like a grudge move, Ego. Like not even saving the trim. That's total grudge move right there. Why? What's wrong with the trim now that it's dry?
It's not. Well, it's an easy answer, Smiley. I'm not sitting down doing it all at once, so it's little fucking joint work piles. You know what I mean?
You'll take your empty dab jars and put them in a fucking jar with alcohol to try to get whatever is left in there after you've already scraped it.
Hey. Come on, take that dry ass.
Oh,
one of these not good enough.
That's actually like carrying around a jar or having a jar ready.
I'm with you though. I'm the same way. If it's just a little bit, it's like
Smiley bringing the hammer.
If that was me, I'd be going to BHO town right about now. That's what I'd be doing with that.
Yeah, it's different.
Like, I gotta
I'm gonna blow myself up. It goes red pill.
Makes
good tea. If I were gonna sit down and dry, do it all at once, it'd be a different thing. I would most definitely keep it. But just because it's joint here, joint there, it's more of a mess, and the mess is easier right to the fucking ashtray. Shook. There it is, done.
It's good compost. It makes good tea. Throw it in a mason jar there on your table, and as soon as that mason jar gets halfway full, throw it into some water and throw some coconut oil, let it boil for half an hour, and
yeah, you're right. There's literally nothing to throw away.
But you can also throw it in the ashtray. Because I might do that.
I'd probably just be like, okay, especially if I'm just grabbing as I go.
I actually have the argument. I'll sit here, I'll be cleaning stems and everything because I throw everything to make into something later. And I'm rolling it up like, there's the ashtray. I'm like, do I get the jar out and throw the stem in? Because I already put it away, I throw it in the ashtray. So I'm doing that argument back and forth, and I just drink it. There's the ashtray.
Oh, yeah.
Well, guys, I hate to be the one, but I'm the one tonight. Pull the plug. I gotta do the shout outs, man. I fucking missed them last night. Done shunned the responsibility. Pulled the back door last night. Fuck this. I'm tired. Fuck it. But I gotta do them tonight. I gotta do the shout outs. So you guys can kindly say your goodbyes and my thank yous to you all. First and foremost.
Let me be the first one tonight. Thank you very much, Eagle. Had fun tonight. Had fun last night. Another awesome night in the wormhole. I'm glad you're able to fire these up with a little bit of internet that you got.
Yeah.
Thankful for that. Cheers, Chicha. Cheers, Rez. Cheers, Johnny. Smiley. Jack. Cheers. Did I miss anyone?
Right.
Oh, in there. Come on.
See you guys later. Peace out, chat.
Peace out.
Is this whole thing going in reverse tonight? It's usually
I think
fucking
so.
me.
It is. Okay. Well, much love, guys. Peace out. Have a good night, morning.
Everybody have a great Saturday.
Peace and love always. Eagle, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate you. Always, man. It's awesome to be able to come out here and hang out with all the groomies and everything. It's just awesome. Rez, right on, man. Appreciate you. I'll talk to you later, man. Everybody, see you later.
I'm out of here. Peace and love, everyone. I want you to know, if you're out there, even if I don't know your name, I pray for you. I hope you have a blessed day. You have a safe day. Love your neighbor as yourself. Thank you, Eagle. Appreciate you. Everybody out there, love you.
Love you, brother. Have a good day.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. I'm going to try my best to get some shout outs done tonight. Keep some music flowing. I'm going to start out. It's going to be a little pause because I do want to try to get Stoney's song out there. So we'll try it. Since you guys may not have heard the first version, very good. We'll play it one more time because I appreciate the efforts. Of course, so cool. Peace out, stay humble off 710, Scarecrow 420, Green Bomb, Christina, and G89. Unplugged 705, Medical McCullough, Billy, Rick T, the Rebel, the 1927, Baby, and Slade, that stays out here. Tom Spoon, Greg Walker, Mendo Dome, T-Dogs, Gunbeetle, Red Eye Jedi, Girls, Mother Nature, Justin Conway, Garden Green, Run Boy 7426, Justin Goodard, Strongman, Open Grower 75, Corey Trevor, Michael Wall, Old Bitch 420, Who's a Candidate, Taco Don Slug, Rick S. in the Bushes 827, Shane Simmons, Kevin Todd, Westside Hope, Matt Span, Bio Mentor, Big Road Dude, Ken Sheba, Jose Ramirez, Red Eye Rustler, Dave Goblin, Dr. Buzz Lightyear, S10, Septon, Canuck, Ken, Queen Genetics, Savvy, Tenazzi, Fumador, Dirtman Dan, Keith, the Black Sales, Mr. Bosilla, Sim Green, Gardens, Rasa Bob, Rasa Jeff, Soil, Roots, Small, Tube, Tyler, Frosty Roots, Mower, Michigan Micro, Ouija Bug, Stuff Key, Roy, Big Jar Rose, JC, Bottom Genetics, So Can't We There, John, Last PPJ, So Green County Grower, CJ Apple, Perfectly Imperfected, Dollar Tree Grower, T1 Production, Tank Grower, DOA Grow Meds, Miss Nudie Grows, I Gruesome, Johnny Can't See, Got Nutrient Shootouts, Naughty Nicky, Zoe Slammer, NNY, Pixel Monkey, St. Bernard's Observation Booth, Clover 420, High Spy, Aldrich 25, This Madam Cheese, Team Blue, Bone Grower, Candy Crate, Local Grove, this guy, Burton 79, Polish Hamburg, Midwest Outlaw 30 Wood, Voodoo All-Stars Fest, Nerds, Kelly, Next, Wolverine Grows, Big Jar Grows, Jimmy One for Life, Laid Way Back, Farmer, D-Block, MMP, Nations Creations. Cutler Dog Shit, Amber Lalana, Psychedelic Warlock, Psychedelic Warlock, Artist LD, Sir 60, Rob, Big Big, 420, Big Head, 1961, Animal Body, G3, The Replay, JK Triple G, Mrs. Freakley, Brittany, Tyler, Beasley, Hope Farm, Felicia G, John, E2 Crazy Corey, EPG, WG, 420, Dr. Buffalo, Arthro, Sense of Community, Arthro, Just Space 420, East Coast Pro 420,
Trade Malone, keep it real. Handkerchief 427, and audit everywhere. BTW grows biggest green pumping man. Alex Lloyd, Chef Like Q, because I love the Green Mountain Growers, Southwest Okie Real. 100, 212, Andy Van Brand for Family Farms. Meat, all flour, Page Farms, Ryan Henderson, 338. New sale by Wednesday, the Aquaponics Kingdom. Indra, Michigan native. Mary Jane's Bender, Trooper 77, double D, bad button nutrients with green pops, with green nuts, 619-664, Spaniard Cruise, Jones and Grow, Pop G Grow, Brad's Envy, Grows, Cast, Grow From Your Heart Podcast, Lynn Luna, the Green Men Flock, True Mine, Miranda, Sony Creek, Lost Art, Mr. No One, LG 420, Giant Mike, Prometheus Soul, Jason Iso, P. Win, David Kobe, Mason 662, Scroggy McScroggerton the fourth. Hold on, guys, get us some more music. Scroggy McScroggerton the fourth. Yeah. Hold the hell of it one more time. Cheers, Dollar Tree Grove. Who else we got right here? Where did we go?
Hey, what's up? This is myself from Black Girl Scouts, and I love using Weevil because they're local.
Oh, I can't go with that one. That's good. Better place. All right, where did I leave off? Oh, Mason 662. Scroggington fourth. The Goddess Grows Kaylee. Kaylee Burrows. Sorry, I gotta turn this shit down. Kaylee. Ted Brad Family Farms, Polly Pete, Oregon, Kevin Joe Drink, Mike Honcho, Jay Huggins, UDA, Green Tree, Hunter, Kush Cloud, Joshua Steensland, Organic Home Buds, Warren Nelson, Cam Wood, Maine Mystic, Show Love Always, Kelly Stone, Texas OG, Chuck Norris, Sarge, Claire Fresno, Happy Guy. Now we're rolling. 311 Mix Up, Kinder Grows, Evergreen Hayes, 3G's, Friend Trees, MMJ, Matt Balls, Matt S.A. Ball, Dragonfly Beat, Matt, holy shit, Justin Smith, Travis Wells, Unlucky Mike, or Lucky Mike nowadays, CL Chronic Seeds, King Chronic Type from West Coast, Chango, Gas, Babasco for Life, John Smith, Tom Tricos, Funky King, Raz, Pop Little Slow Rolls, Spiky Bob, Oscar Green Jr., Matt Steelberg, Endo 11, Stephanie B, Shark Pulley 989, Von Braun, Simon Garden, Solar Nation 420, Tommy Trico, Show 5, Mountains 1313 Grower, Hated Lady, Frank Booth, Jay Myers, submitted in the chat, that's remaining D Bagsy, Dr. DGC, Jeff Shutter 911, Dutch Grows 420, Scallywag 420, Skill 1, Betty Grow 1, Empire Brain Grow, Bergoli, Lost Leaf, Leah Mass, Sandy Danko, Beat Bear 7, Allie Noble, CK, Tom Trinidad, Looney Jester, Smoke with Small Town, Tim S, Mr. Lazy, Raptor Grows, Rob, Automation is free, Robert Hazelton, Dora Michigan, Corey, Double Tap Farm, Mr. Green, Dump 420, 808 Rudy Prospects, Kenny Mustard, Hayline, Kenny 710, Operation Grow, T-Bennett, Blue Gun 619, Ingrid Details, Dr. Scrambles, BB Numerous, GHF, Double J, BioGreen, Stuff 456, by Hanky, Safety 420, OGKB, Ganja Nana, Your Mama, Georgia Joe, Roy Rodriguez, Big Growing Nature's Best Dogs, Killer Bee Grows, Ganja Williams, Husky Garden, Scott Tree 420, Dr. Soul Life, Bully 4 Life, the Jeffro 420, 698, Dr. Franklin Booty, goddamn, my big test, the Riffin Bad Boy, Jack Greenstock 420, 420, Boot Farm, Charlie Farm 420, Aldridge 25, Smiley's Garden, Shay D, Smith D, Snug, Smoke Girl Frazier, Go Frosty, Twisted Roots, Faded Farm 420, Jeff Skorowski, Genetic Memory Farms, Ball 420, Cameron, Mr. Bagsy, Jill Carter, Missy Marks, Missy Grower, Ginger Snaps, DTE, Grows A, Rick Wolf, DLB 2372, Mike Denver, Sergeant Pep 420, Kid Trooper, Blind Cat 420, Light Up, Tim, UKSIF 420, Buddha Boy, Devin Shipwreck, Medical MJ, Bucksville, USA, Resurrection Prophet, Chris Martinez, Snake Man 420, Pink Man, Dead, Red Center Farms, Good Life, Joni Bell, GTP, Most Hated Grower, the Major Jeff 420, Army,
American one. W Digger 714 Rock Days, Kitty Ocean, Mountain Skies, ready to get that high five. Chris Mertz, Ian, Save Robbie, Sergeant, Kevin, Finger Lakes, Finest, Rich Patch, Doja Boots, other BT Grower, Shoes Medical, Jerry Bear, +1, Mustard, Secret City, Pioneers, My Little 10, 20.2, Spacewalker, Christian, Tree Mom, T. Barrington, Heart and Soul, Homegrown, Mike D, T. DeWayne, East Coast Will, Heidi Day, Black Gardens, John Smith, The Lipness, My Natural Farm, Pacific Northwest, Ross, Power Ball, Lemon Hobo, Trench, Brilliant Juicy Life, 420, Richard, 420 Grant Manual, that is. Oh man, I didn't even know I had this right here. Mary Bond, San Cisco, 81, 90, School, Special Move. Vision Grader, Hoover, Timers, Animation J. Dandy Indoor Man, Romance Holy, Hampton Bro, Switch Smoke, Keystone, Cadillac, Big High, 710, Eugene, H2, also, Fred, Carlos, North Arizona, Beardboard, Ward 1, Rosa, Jesse White, Gosh Dang, Gifford, Silver J, Vixen, Robin, Killer 8, Mo, James Butterfield, Feed Up, Northdale, Thompson, Seabank, Headhead, Smoky 616, Chris Mayhead, Matt Myron, Morte, Rick Amy, Stephanie, Dora, Antenna, Seeds, Back, Carries, hey, Mike Rubles, the Drew Bear 420, Maxi 751, Lawrence Gonzalez, So to Get Up, Student Moon, Pop Coach 719, Banquet Shake, baby, old Mo, BWC, Don't Grown Bugs. Floor wash, Mr. Reed Blunt, old school grower, Jack West, floor household grown, floor nugs, my little piece of heaven, puncher, Fallon Seeds, Goliath grower, Richard T. Christian Bobby, Mr. Soul, Spectrum Gone Guy, Flory Hanson, real 2,000 years of tradition, Mr. T. Conley, Pink Jam, McMoby, Bay, show me scat squats. Fuck Google and you, I'm going well, baby, cause you can't even restore Porter Farm, Colorado, Zephyr, Humble Farm, Scenery Farm, Seldom Seed, Oak Park Gardens, Hale 9782, Smoky Packs, Martial Artist 2012, Michael Slade Evans, Daniel McDizzle, Medically Fit, KGB, Master Robert, Mr. Green, Fingers Motherfucking Thomas. Will be here tonight, hopefully, right? That's the Green Fingers. Hopefully. Looking forward to that shit right there. Biker Slave Hefner. Where'd I leave off? All right, so right there. Rancho Coach Plenty, Michael Balls, Andrew Chaplin, Bob Lee, Trey Digger, Mr. Max, Tony Lake Ball, Bill S, Miss Weed Peace, Tater Delicious, Vinci Country Roots, You're on Fire tonight, Tree Creeper, Big Ray Puts 1, TD 101, Bolton Hazard, Mr. Club 14, Beard B-Man 616, Nall Up North, Max Groom and Ruby. Timothy McKimmons, Neil Justin Beats, Chronic 88, Fat Belly, Real, Jeffrey Steele, Kinbus 03, Turf Farmer, Shannon Stevens, Carlitos, Latinos, Peter Country, Mr. Speed, Will Steve, Firesaw, Wally Bookie, The Guys Rose, Roster Bob, Whitefeller Groves, Burning Trees, Stone Grove State, K-Man Groves, BX Gunner 81, Smith, Groves, Sean McCann, Jay Bone, State Agenda, Wow Wow, Cannon Grove, Bulldog, Huron, Cannabis Council, Melissa Parrish, Rock Fan, Justice Big for 20 Beds, Fresh Grow, Thriving Herbs, Highwood, Your Mailman Grows, BB Growing, Australia Growing, Love for the Plant, Argo Milking, Smart Poking, Unfrozen Caveman, Wise Eyes, Surf Craft, Michael Drew, Jeff Lowfeld, Mobius Grows, Tank, Brownies, Dan D, Elliott, Harkins, Mystic Flavor, The Forging Garden, Overwater, Overkill, Seattle Steve, Shadow Warrior, Valley Green 514, Manny Jensen, All Saints, Dr. MJ, Coco Brandon Ross, Matthew Gates, These Fags, Drone Star, Shotgun Willie, Dave Yoda, James, Jay Simmons, Sure Bro, Rose, Clackamas, who was here last night, DJ, Conley, Aaron, Rower, like 1978, Michigan, Roll Buds, your boy Roy Bud, Delta 9, Jimmy McDaniels, Clackamas, 420, Sinky Cole, Dylan Stein for PFC Farms, Husky Garden, Sun Grove 707, Sun J8 Grove, J420 Cascadian Grove, Two Toes for me, 4 Plants, 8 Wee Words, Captains, Frog, Skunk Bugs, House Warrior, Jack Young, Terry Lee Live, Yes, Andy N.D. Urge, Green Fury, Leon from All Purpose Plus, Green Goose, 11 Smiles, 11 Big Bugs, Michael Ross of Plenty, Wild Bobby, Sean Vince. Rescue Ready, Roadside LLC, Notorious Sons, Magna Seeds, Father and Sons, Turning, Tutorials, Upkeep Games, Jose Ramirez, Perez, Doggo the Hunt, 420 Park, Chico Man, TR 420 Community Videos, Detroit River, Louis Garcia, Michael P, AJ Everyday, Captain Bob, and Ted Bob 13, Main Grove 420, Cookies Scoop, Jay Kendricks, In for the Grill, Backwoods Off, the Italian Mansell, Adam Spankin, Chanel Simpkins, One Smoke Away, Ganja Rose, Kazoo, Aaron Vernon, Shrooms, Mr. Lincoln Sinkins, Angel Studios, MG, Mr. 420, Road 10, Paul Diello, John Plumbing, Dinkovich, Fiber Flower, Paul Diello, Seldom Team, Elevated, Lenny, Organic Sunman, Tina Sunny, Jeff Pavai, Ricardo, Social, Dan J, Kirk Friendly Farming, Katie Forest Farmer, Fuck All That Means, The Mystery Grower, Jason Line 512, Snake Eyes Northern 446, Jason Gross, Soda Baker, MB, Stony Creek, Plus Sonic, Fritz Willard, Tarzan Superman, Old Man Riverhead, Freebird, Fogo, Matty Gar, Simple Man, Sorry Out of Time, Tim Blake, Golf Coast, Chronic, Seafat, Cavalier Polero, Hourly Grower, Jenny God, Jason Line 512, Steve Down, Todd Kendricks, Poppy Major, Shower Breed, The Island Hayes, Mystique Speak, CRA, Grady K, TCDR, Claire Killian, Wardrobe, Farming, Randy Brandy, 54,000, Ace Food 3223, Wake Up, Captain 3, Pumpkin Smiles, 15 Digits, Missing Gods and Roots, Fred G, Super Bob, Broski 808, Weekend at Birdies, K-Bag, Justin Sage, Strong Sour, Organic, Zippy, I-Medic 31, Honesty, KL, We All, Flower, Brand Food, Todd Kendricks, Kendricks, UKNT, Chris D, Chris Stewart, 4 times 4, Natty Greg, Barbara Matthews, Adrian So Grown, Kevin, Jiu-Jitsu, Canada, Health and Happiness, Berserk 250, Collab, Low Cut, Average Trevor, Mo Manning, May, Brad Benty, Ellen, Huge A, Shane T, Atomic School, Miss Jill, LT, Gardensville, Big Daddy, High Flyer, 420, Lobster Brush, Grove, Mailer, Tree, Maine, Redfield, Yo Boy, Roy Boy, Aesthetic, Shannon Gibson, Ruhan, Rick W, Comfortably Enough, One Smoke Away, the 840 Show, Richard Lamb, Canvas Pursuit, King Rolling, Rodney, Buzz, Hogan Man 81, Oil and Flower Podcast, Entourage Flex, Warren Dixon, Pink Lady Love Town, Mono 420, surrounded by Keith Prairie Farms, Spruce Dweller, Single Father, Champion, Get Richard Ford, Samuel Finetta, P4 People, Nicotine, John Reese, What About Bob, Prince Patty, Daddy Bergman, Green Puffin Man, B. Lee, James Chung, Sarge Groves, John Wade, Carolina Roots, Sister Golden Hair, Tiana, L. Tank, Bruno, K&F Gardens, Blink 1030, choose one, only P. Farmer, James, Crypto Dope, James Lamb, HIP Grower, Matt Javine, Dan Marino, Chronic Wonder, Sunrise Grows, Top Floor Genetics, Mo Vision 420, Can2 Cannabis, 420 Fisher. Yeah, Bert. It's a beautiful thing. I like the word. My dog Nelia, Rooster Grows, Alec Hardy, I Like Geared, Betty Grapper, Daniel Grows Photos, Nick Grown Med, Sunrise Grows, of course, my baby girls, Lexi Brittany Cooey, No Limit 916, Grumpy Toad, Alchemist, Cannon Minx, Soul Growing Addiction, Ross, Joe, Alex D, Dirty Or Catfish, High Powered, Thunder Dan, Propagation Station, John McDaniels, Wilson Marie, Stars Grows 818, Blaze Daily, Pride Piper, Perpetual, Eagle Pride Warrior, Sales, Smiles for You, Frankie's out of the name, Duchess, Tito Kelly, Maxwell, Sergeant, our Captain 420, Almost Simone, you Captain, CPAT, What About Bob Hill, Juster 420, Pop True, Sean Gorski, John Doe, Dugan, Dungeon, Gangsta, THC4, THC4, PTA, third time. THC4 PTSD. Woo. T. Barrington, Honcho, Grown, Swamp Camp, Palero, Capopica, Best of Because, Jane Doe, Mr. Manny D, Kenna Ferrari, 420 AB, Normal, Frank Guerrero, Bearfeed, J. Brent, TK, Brown Guy, 420, Packadur, Burning Tree, Made EA, Great Sons, Grow for 207, Hydro Daily, Hemp with GG, Jamie Reed, Supreme Great, Stony Rockefeller, thank you for your awesome donations to the show, my friend. Cannabis Caveman, Brew Synthetics, or Brew City. I'm just going to drop it at there. YC Sustainable, White Night Roots, Dead Cynic, Knuckles, Michael P, Holly B, Quick G, Nimble, Bud Kilowatts, Michael D, Bobo 8, Disbanded Brothers, Marcelio, Matt Joseph, Grace Medicine RX, Chief and Chief, Hydro Daily, Concerned American Cannabis 411, Freedom of speech, Dr. Joints, where these trees, Ganjo, Suzuko, 710 is oil upside down. Jess Stevenson, Victoria, you know who you are. What about Bob Sacred, Gardner, Gus Gross, Slick Rick 8, Dog Pounds, David, Seattle, Amon Watts. Just not that good. And Brand, and then Grown, Uncle Elmer, Off-Grid Terps, Christopher 54, of course, Last Predator, Matthew SoCal, Sue, Illinois, Man Beaters, James Proof, of course, Dink, Duchess, Dark Horse, Genetics, Stoner Dude, Joel from North Star. Who else we got here? Carolina, can't forget them. Mr. Nut Crap, PTA, Be Real, B13 Leo. Sorry about that, B13 Leo. Beyond Brew Beyond Perfection, XX Elite, GPXX. Of course, last but not least, Weedus 207. It's a bummer I did not get to see any of the chat tonight because I was playing music, but you guys hopefully know I appreciate you guys. You guys know the deal. If this is the end of your journey, please get some rest. This is the beginning of your journey. Please remember to do something nice. Make it a prosperous day, of course. Be sure to take time, do a little self-love. You can't give love unless, of course, you love yourself. Unless you love yourself, you have none to give to others. Remember that. Take care of yourself first and foremost. As Jack kind of alluded to earlier, love you, Jack. It's very important. I'm glad you brought it up, my friend. Other than that, please try to do something nice for somebody. Random acts of kindness do save lives. Have a great day. Have a great Saturday. I'll see you tonight. This is Robert. This is Green Fingers motherfucking Thomas. Have a great day. I'm out of here, guys. Love you. How do I get out of here? How do I get out of here on the Zoom?